You know what? You seem pretty cool. Boy, was I a fool. Miss Queen, bitch.
Suffering the nation of an allergy. The death of man is always never with me. Darkness like wind, just leave me be. My head right down to the last fucking drop. I'm so sick of this shit, I go live in the world. But I am down to the last message.
I'll never know
Organization There's a revolution from violence to a war. While I am fighting forever, you don't even know what you're fighting for. You're fucking Yogi's very looking at you, but you're just wasting time. Because
How's that new one go again?
Da 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 da.
Something like
I like putting that part in there because we get to scream like right before we come on camera. I don't know. It like wakes me up along with the morning stuff. How are you?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Second cup of coffee.
I don't do coffee. I do the Mountain Dew amp.
Oh man, yeah, I'm definitely like the Colombian 3 shots of espresso type person in the morning.
I used to drink coffee when I was a kid, like when I was a teenager, when it was still cool to go to like restaurants and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee all night.
Yeah. I thought that was like, you know, we have this we live in Polk County, so I'm sure you know Polk County.
Nope, not really.
What's that little gas station? Shoot, it's like Wawa. You know,
yeah.
When Wawa came first out, yeah, do the do. Mark Shira said, "Do the do." That's funny. I managed to get at least another one of the songs on. I have to download the third one. So just
okay, cool.
But
well, first off, happy birthday. I wanted to
thank you.
to do that. I forgot when you first hit me up. You're like, hey, so for my birthday, I'm bringing me on the show. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Thank you, Miss Teresa. I appreciate it. Good morning to you too. You and my daughter actually share a birthday. Happy birthday to you too, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, Miss Holly. Thank you so much, my love. Miss Holly with Around Winter Haven Neighbors. She has a new thing. Actually, we've played it during the during the music. So you guys can add any events that you have like throughout Polk County. You can add them. She has around Lakeland and around Winter Haven, and you can add your events, and then it shares on her group, which is like a community group. The around Lakeland, I believe, is like 30,000, and her around Winter Haven's like roughly just almost at 9 or 10. I have to double check those numbers, but yeah. So if you guys get a chance, go check her out. What else do you have coming up, dude? I know that you have a couple of shows, yeah? And
Yeah, we're playing on the 28th at the Brass Monk for the Metal Music Mafia show, the Metal Apocalypse show. And then we're going out to Ocala on February 4th to play with our friends in Not Props Tomorrow, Love Pit, and Ocean's End.
oh heck yeah. I like I just talked to Ocean's End this morning. And what was it? The Love Pet. Love Pet's my buddies. I love those.
Yeah,
Those
we've
guys.
done a few shows with those guys too. Like, it's always interesting because like we're like, really heavy,
Yeah.
and it's hard to explain. It's always nice when you get a band that's just that different that you play
Right.
with. Like, we've never really cared. Like, we'd like to play with heavy bands,
Right.
just for with the crowd, but we'll play with anybody. We don't really care. We're not like elitist or anything like that.
Where in Ocala? Paul Bryan wants to know.
It's called Mutiny.
What is that? Say one more time.
Mutiny.
Mutiny.
Yeah.
Look it up. Paul Bryan's with Gnome Productions. He does all of our like recordings and stuff for our artist interviews.
Oh, cool.
He does like little videos for the bands, like when they come out for the interviews. So then that way they have like something to promote on. Good morning, Massive Media. How are you? Rock out. Yeah, and then we have you guys coming out for the July 4th event too. Yeah, with the Independence Day honoring vets. We'll have the dudes out there along with the Curse of Three with Everett Barber and Crowview with Mr. Davis, and then Joe's Garage Band too as well. We are kind of mixing that show. Reasoning B is morning times. We have more of like a country. So the Joe's Garage Band are actually like more like how old classic rock / country. And then we'll head into Crowview, which they are more of like 90s, 2000s, like grudge rock kind of deal.
Nice.
And then we'll go into, the Curse of Three, you guys, and the dudes. So more heavier stuff towards the end of the night with the college kids. We'll rock out Leo's, make sure we scream all the way through there. So
Yeah, the show on the 28th is going to be kind of an interesting variety as well, because we've got Twisted Misery, which we played with before, and Nazi Apocalypse we played with before, and then we've got Red Calling and our Final Feud, which we haven't played with them yet. And I like to check out bands that we're playing with that we haven't beforehand. So I think we're playing right in the middle. I think we're playing third, but Red Calling is playing right before us, and they're kind of like really like heavy. It's hard to explain because they're heavy, but they're not like they're not like death metal like us. They have an incredible female vocalist,
right.
So it's going to be really interesting going from like them to us, and then Nazi Apocalypse. They're really heavy like thrash. Like they're kind of like, to me, they're like Silosis. Like but they're really incredible.
Well, I thank you so much, Massive Media. Again, yes, metal in the morning is very good for the soul. It helps me wake up, actually. You'll sit me. I'll be out here. My kids, it's so funny. We were playing Burn Forever's Venomous, and so like my son like walks around singing it now, and that's probably not like the best parent.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a message there. I remember Josh was saying when we played with them last, like Josh's like, yes, this is about this, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I've written songs like that before, but I don't know if I'd let my 6-year-old listen to that or not.
Yeah, well, putting it on the live, it kind of, we live in a very small house, so whatever I play, they end up hearing. Shitty Neighbor is another one by Level the Planet, so like they walk around saying crappy neighbor, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really help, dude.
I mean, it's better than the alternative.
That is very true. I mean, yeah. I mean, the more colorful, the better. I always say so.
Yeah, well, my son is at the point where he's just picking up language everywhere. He's starting to chatter more, but he has a tablet, so he can get on YouTube, which is never good. Luckily, we were able to restrict. I got him a Fire Stick because they had a Roku in the room, and again, he can get on YouTube, and some of the stuff I'd catch him like watching because he's smart. He's smart as hell for a 6-year-old. So he just figures stuff out. Now he's huge into like Roblox and Sonic the Hedgehog. So.
I am very familiar with Roblox. I have an 11-year-old, and also what's the Fortnite stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad he hasn't gotten into that yet. I'm hoping well, the original plan was to have our kids kind of grow up on the cartoons and games that we started with. So like I bought like the entire Ninja Turtles collection, or a whole new the original Transformers, Voltron, all that stuff. And he hasn't watched any of it.
Are you okay? Sorry.
Ooh, puppies.
my hold on one second, I'll fix it. I'm so sorry. My Labradoodle is a big ass baby, and probably another one of the kids.
Yeah.
He is a Labradoodle. He's full-blooded lab and full-blooded full poodle mix. So I can't get it, dude. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. All right, it's off. Get down. Get down. Yep, there you go. All right, cool beans. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, like we're hoping to raise the kids. Like, I mean, my plan, like I have all the original consoles. Like I have all the PlayStations. I have all the Xboxes. I didn't get a new Xbox because it's pointless. But so I was like, hey, he's gonna learn how to play, PS1. But that didn't work. I mean, I have like the little mini like digital Nintendo that came out, and he loves playing like Mario and stuff on that. But then now like he's huge into Sonic, so I still have a PS4. I play on my PS5, so I let him play like Sonic on my PS4. He kind of like skipped through all that stuff, so that totally ruined our plan.
We have what's that Nintendo box that has like all the old games in it?
Yeah, that's what we have. It's like it's a little digital version of it.
Yeah,
it's like this big. It's like really tiny.
Yeah, that's the same one that we have. We like the Mortal Kombat. That's like definitely a fave of mine.
I never got into those. Like I was a Street Fighter fan when I was really young, but friends had Mortal Kombat. I played it, but like I was just never good at it.
Right.
Especially doing like the fatalities and stuff.
Those are my favorite.
It's just too many button mashing. Like, I prefer like nowadays I play the games like the Dark Soul games and stuff like that. Which are very rage-inducing.
I'm a big Call of Duty fan. I've played that since I was in high school when it first came out, like on the computer. Street Fighter.
Yeah, 2 was the big deal.
I don't know. I played it when you had to play it online. When I was in high school, I did a lot of the LAN parties, like where I was lame. So I went and played games.
Our guitar players, Hector and Charlie, they did play a lot of Call of Duty and sometimes together a lot. I know Charlie plays a lot of Hunt Showdown, but those two guys like the Call of Duty games. Again, it's just online competitive stuff is just not my deal. Like I'll play co-op stuff, but I'm just not good enough to win. I always lose in those games.
I mean, I do too, but I still have fun playing them.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to win sometimes.
I understand that. Us Capricorns can be very stubborn in the whole wanting to win.
Yeah. Well, that's like a counterintuitive to playing the Dark Souls games because the point of those you die a lot and it's very, very frustrating. But they're still entertaining because it's when you actually do win, like you beat a boss, you beat that area, you're like, yes, you're like so happy because you did it, even though you're really, really pissed off most of the time getting there.
Yeah. I die all the time. Yeah. And so when I normally get to a spot to where I'm supposed to be at and I'm excited to be at, I normally die within that period, and then I have to restart all over again. So that's my luck.
I've broken a few controllers in my day.
I have to say the same. I'm quite the same. Capricorns and their attitudes. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we're dangerous creatures. The 26th, we have of January, we have a masquerade party that we're doing with. We started out with the interviews, like interviewing some of the cover bands in town, trying to figure out, why they go out every weekend and perform and, do all this stuff. And
Money.
yes, sometimes. Well, some of them really just love the music, and they have that family life, so they really can't, insure like in more into that. And then some write their own original music, and then are either feel like they're too old to kind of venture into, going and trying to make it. So we started interviewing I was a bartender at OTC for like 4 years, and we would have like entertainment come in, and I just wanted to know like, why and who they were. So we started the interview process, and we literally were just going to take the cell phone and go sit at the bar and just record me and the artist sitting at the bar hanging out. That was like literally the gist of the idea, so we could get the bar scene and be a little personal with the artists and so forth. But then it turned into this huge thing with Holly Sears from around Winter Haven. She brought what is this thing called? StreamYard to the set. And then we ended up a few months later meeting Paul Bryan with Gnome Productions, and he came out and offered his services. And then a few months later, we ended up meeting a couple more people who came in, and they show up once a month, dude. And we put on a huge ass party for our artists. And normally we try to incorporate it with the month. Like, so for February, we're doing like Cupid contest type deal thing. And the couple is a wife and husband, and they're press play with Jamie Crabtree and his wife. And they've got a couple kids together, and they kind of just do, weekend shows and stuff like that to kind of keep their momentum going, because, they got that mom and dad life. Good morning, Miss Danielle. How are you?
Yeah, tribute and cover bands are kind of an interesting thing. Like, I'm friends with the guys in Wicked Serenity. They do the Godsmack tribute thing. They're really big. I'm friends with Ben and Brad. And it's interesting because like they're really good, and they put a lot of effort into it. They put a lot of work into it, and they're very, very popular. Right. But as a local guy, where a lot of times it is hard to get to pack a house. Like, I mean, I've played the Brass Monk for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of shows where like I've gotten a lot of people out. It's just the scene goes in a lot of ups and downs. Right now, I think it's a little more of a down thing. But I see like tribute bands like packing houses and shit, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why don't people want to go out? I mean, I get it. Like, they do Godsmack and Creed, which are very popular bands. They do a good job. Right. Whereas like obviously Godsmack doesn't come to town a lot, so their fans are gonna like flock to anywhere they can get a decent version of Godsmack.
Right.
But it's frustrating as an original artist. Again, I don't knock the cover thing. It's just never been my thing. Right. I've always been an original content guys. And those guys did it too before. They were in previous bands I was friends with and whatnot. But it's just odd.
It is odd. I think there's original sound to everything. I do have a lot of friends in tribute bands. One of my good friends is in the Foreigner / Journey tribute band. They play a lot of Epcot. The Nirvana tribute band out of Orlando. I've talked to those guys. You have your Motley Crue tribute band, your AC/DC tribute band. Like there's quite a bit of them. And yes, they do pack houses. And I think, building yourself a team that can, that can stay on the phone all day and text your number into shows, that can, getting those relationships in your life to where you have people that support you like 100, and getting yourself to that level, and then, bringing everybody, they get upset when they don't pack a house, but when you work on your home life and your surroundings, it generates your followers increasing because people come more in love with you and they
Yeah.
have passion for you. And, you know, thanks so much, Sean. You're awesome. Love your face, dude. Sean Chain, he's an amazing dude. But yeah, like with our group, like, you know, it was so hard to get people to come out and want to show the love for music, to do an interview once a month for these people, you know, like Powerhouse we have, you know, this month, and we're doing a masquerade party because it's my birthday month, so we kind of wanted to do a little something fancy. And the lead singer of that band is Miss Samantha Martin. She's really cool. She's a very talented young lady. They do covers a lot of. She does a lot of like early '90s, late '90s, like rock ish. Yeah, ish. But I do love original music. The reasoning of is it kind of gives you a deeper love for the artist because you can kind of see where their emotions are at, you know, with the whole band. You know, you write the word, one person writes the words, or you all write the words, and then, you know, the guitar guy puts, you know, his tune to it, and then that carries a whole new emotion. And, you know, just seeing that all come together is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little rough over the last few years when we formed this project. I mean, basically we haven't had a drummer at all. We started with a guy and it just didn't quite work out. We've tried some guys. I mean, we're still looking for a drummer. We're talking to a few guys, but like it's a lot more challenging for our guys to write because they kind of got to. I mean, Charlie he programs all our drums, which he does a phenomenal job. But if he could focus just on writing guitar parts, that would make things so much easier. And even like you know, sometimes people just write better if they have a drummer. I mean, the guys have done an incredible job, and our music has evolved quite a bit. Like I was saying, we're finishing the mixing on our newest EP, which we're doing everything ourselves. We've
Right.
tried a few times to go to places, and it just didn't quite get what we wanted out of it. And Charlie's been, you know, studying and working hard on a lot of the production value of what we're doing. So we're gonna give it a shot, do it on our own, and then, you know, because, you know, really doing this, you don't make a lot of money. And all of us, you know, we're married, we have kids, we're all in our 40s, except for our bass player. He's 39 now. His birthday was Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, so like, you know, we don't have like 1,500 to even like, you know, $8,000 or whatever it is to record.
Right.
So again, not having a drummer, it makes things a lot more. I mean, sometimes it makes things simpler. It's one less person you got to deal with. But there's always the occasional hiccup with the equipment, which we've had a few times. Because again, sometimes venues you play don't have the proper equipment. We played a place in Orlando, I think it was our second show, and it ended up being like on the floor in a bar, and they didn't even have like a whole PA set up. I mean, luckily because we have electronic drums, we usually bring our own speakers just in case so we can hear ourselves and hear the drums. Now we're working on getting our in-ear monitors set up and whatnot. But anybody listening, Get Out of Nashville is looking for a drummer. So if you know anybody, you know, check it out. Check out the music.
Bryson Whittington, he is one of the best drummers I know in town. If anything, you probably would want to hit him up to maybe see if he knows anybody. He is a badass on the drums. So
yeah, definitely shoot me a link to his page. I can check it out.
Absolutely.
Maybe give him a shout.
I'll do that. Let me see if I can't figure it out. There's a lot of happy birthdays coming in.
Yeah, my son turns 6 on the 20th. So
Does he?
yeah, and then my daughter turns 4 February 11th, I think.
February.
Yeah, that's bad. I should know my kids' birthdays, but it's you know, when they're really young, they don't really even understand birthday and Christmas and stuff. So it's like when they get older and they really get into it, then I'm like, yay, let's party. But
yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, that, and, you know, my 6-year-old is just all about, you know, she loves the fashion of everything. She's the big, you know, girly girl of us all. Paul Bryan said, where do you practice?
Atomic Audio, about 5 minutes outside of Ybor on 40th.
And Miss Danielle said, Paul Ford, drummer. So if you need reference. Danielle Kimbrell is the wife of Will Kimbrell. He is an amazing guitarist for the band Kaizen. Yeah, so You said drummer. She said Paul Ford. So I guess Paul Ford's a drummer. Oh, thank you so much, Christy. So you're working on a new EP, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when
It's,
is that?
well, technically 7 songs now. We're like I said, we're in the mixing process now. We got like a mix on all the songs last night, so we're kind of listening to them for a while, make sure everybody's happy with what we've got going on with it, and then we'll probably do like a final mix. We're hoping, and I can't guarantee anything, we're hoping maybe by the 28th for that show we can kind of announce it and let people know where to find it. It's just a matter of all of us being perfectionists, the four of us, and getting it done. I mean, it's weird because I'm most excited about a new song we did. Our bass player, Jason, so we were in a previous band together, and he's been talking about this thing called Tank Gut, and he wanted to name a band that, and I think it's like Total Annihilation, Napalm Killer, Genocidal, Ultimate Tactics, and it's just this punk hardcore song he wrote, and it's just him and I, just like it's like a minute long, and I did a music video for it and everything, but we're gonna wait to release that for a bit. But it's the most fun thing we've done, honestly, in this project, because it's not what we do. We're kind of a heavier death metal, deathcore kind of band.
Right.
So, but I'm just really excited about it because it's just so much fun.
I have to say I'm pretty amazed with the way you can transfer from the different sounds that you do. I don't know how to growl at all, so or scream or do any of that.
It's a lot easier than people think. Like I've watched, like I didn't like YouTube wasn't around when I started doing this. So I kind of just I wasn't even in like. When I moved to Tampa in 2001, I wasn't into death metal. I didn't listen to Cannibal. I didn't listen to Morbid, none of that stuff. I couldn't really stand it. It was weird. But I listened to Fear Factory, and Fear Factory was the closest thing to like death vocals that I could listen to. So I would go to karaoke and even open jam, and I do like Fear Factory stuff.
Right.
But I've watched a few videos recently because people have kind of asked, like even my bass player who does backups with us. Honestly, if you can just go, like when you come home from work and you're just like, that's really all you have to do. You figure out how to do that, control it, and get the volume with it, and you can scream. And then you work on the different ranges. I mean, there's different ways of doing it. I watch a lot of vocal coach videos myself because I'm trying to actually adjust my range to a different sound. I'm still heavy, but just a different way of doing it, just to add more to my repertoire of vocals. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that somebody made it that simple. And I'm like, wow, that kind of totally in value. It just makes what I do kind of like really like, oh, okay, that's all he's doing. But no, there's definitely a technique to it, to do the different ranges, to get to the high pitched screams, the very low lows.
No, there definitely is a technique to it, and I think that it takes a lot more talent than you're giving yourself credit for. But the different like when you go from the low to complete high, like within like the same almost breath, dude, you're amazing. Like that's, and that is, I think it's, I was listening to some of your stuff last night, trying to, I'm more of like a in this moment kind of girl. Flyleaf, those are things that I listen to when I get, when I'm sitting here, so, learning different types of music and getting the feel for it is something I love to do. So I sat here literally with you on repeat like all day yesterday and this morning. So yeah, but
I mean, I listen to a lot of different stuff. I mean, seriously, like the only thing I don't listen to is like pop and country.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I listen to everything from Enya to like, I mean, grunge is okay. Grunge, like I grew up like in the grunge era. Like that's always still like my staple. Like the old Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, like all that stuff is like that's just my sweet spot when it comes to like where I come from. And as I got older, I started getting introduced. Like for my 10-year-old birthday, the guy my sister was dating like brought me a shoebox full of tapes. It was all like Suicidal Tendencies, Slayer, Metallica, like all Anthrax, all that stuff. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. I really got into it, and then years later, like my sister's husband got me into like Sepultura, Machine Head, and stuff like that. So, but I mean, I have a playlist called Mood Music, and it has, like I said, it has like Enya on it. Like there's just like the Caribbean blues song. Like I'll read another funny thing. I used to collect comics, so I read the original Sin City graphic novel with Caribbean Blue on repeat. It was weird. It was like a whole surreal experience. And then like there's another comic I read, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I'd read that whole graphic novel, which is playing the first System of a Down album on repeat because this insanity of that album just matched the insanity of this graphic novel. But yeah, I mean, I mean, like when me and the wife with the kids, we went to Williamsburg for 4th of July, and she doesn't mind the heavy stuff I'm into, but that's not really her thing. So I mean, we listen to like Chevelle and Breaking Benjamin, like all the way back and down, because something we can both listen to and enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, doing what I do, people assume that's all I listen to, and it's really not. Like I'm still kind of ridiculous because like I've been getting into heavier and heavier shit, like getting into like Shadow of Intent and Fit for an Autopsy and Die Hard over the last like 10 years or so. But there's still stuff that goes even crazier than that I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, you get too heavy. I become. I know. You're probably. I mean, when I first met Josh, like I did not like heavy except for like girl stuff. So it took a minute, but then I did start liking like the different ranges of growls, like how you guys jump from one extreme to another, and the words too, man. Like I mean, if you just take a minute and try to just listen to the song, then you get a different feel than to just prejudge it right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, I when it comes to like, I mean, and also with like music, like I don't really like. I listen to a lot of Christian bands. Like
Right.
Impending Doom is a Christian band, but they're one of the heaviest freaking bands out there. You wouldn't know if you listen to them. I'm a big fan of Demon Hunter, but again, I listen to bands that are considered satanic bands, but I don't listen to them based on any of that. If I like how it sounds, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't get any kind of hate crap, like fucking like Nazi bullshit and whatnot. I don't listen to that kind of crap. But I mean, because I mean, think about it, like Slayer.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Slayer was like, it was just a show gimmick thing because like Tom Araya is a devout Catholic, so and it seems like even like back in the day with Marilyn Manson, like that dude, like he knew it was shock value. He knew if he did weird shit, people would, like him, and that it worked for his, his experience. Same with like Slipknot. Without the masks, they never would have gotten nearly as big as they are. And again, they're one of my favorite bands. I've listened to Slipknot since day one. But everybody, even they knew that. Like if it weren't for the masks, nobody would give a shit. It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, I mean, the gimmick thing was never a thing for me as well. I mean, I guess the gimmick thing I do now is you saw I was wearing a Spice Girl shirt at the show. So I kind of got into that. Like I can't wait till the 28th because I got a Britney shirt I plan on wearing. I got Britney, I got Selena, and I got Purple Rain. It's just kind of a thing because like who the hell, nobody's gonna expect like somebody like me in a band I'm in to wear that kind of shit. But that's kind of the whole point. It's just I saw a friend of mine online bought that Spice Girl shirt, and I'm like, dude, I gotta get that. I still gotta wear that fucking shirt.
I'm gonna have to get you the Miley Cyrus one. Have you seen it? It has like a unicorn on it, and like.
No, I mean, as long as it's black, I don't really care. Like, I mean, it's got to be a certain kind of thing. Like, my daughter was trying to, my oldest daughter, was trying to use like, oh, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not quite the whole like shtick I'm going for. It's got to kind of be like entertaining, but still cool in a way. I mean, I don't listen to Spice Girls, but I mean, they were kind of a cool thing. Like, I mean, Ashley, Ashley was so shocked at the show when she saw me. I came out, she's like, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" And I'm like, "Spice Girls," and she's like, "I gotta get a picture." So it's kind of that whole kind of thing where it's like, I guess it's a gimmicky kind of thing. I never got into doing the whole makeup weird shit. I mean, I did when I first started, but that didn't work out very well. Because one time I had a friend of mine who does special effects makeup paint me from my waist up completely. It was like mostly black, and then I had like red. I had like a red upside down cross on my face. I had like all kinds of other like symbols painted into me, and it was cool. But I was also in a lot better shape back then too. I was like 23.
Yeah, but the taking off process of that.
Yes, I mean, I was finding paint in the weirdest nooks and crannies of my body, and like a week later, it was not fun.
Showers all stained at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it was like latex, so like it peels off. It's not like, I mean, it's probably not as bad as like the Mystique makeup from the first few X-Men movies.
Massive Media said Frank from Love the Hate, where's Britney on stage?
Sweet.
BW Rigby, happy birthday. Thank you. Lawyer in the house, also with BW Rigby Music. He's also one of our main sponsors of Osment Entertainment. You guys,
Nice.
check him out on YouTube if you like country music, older country.
Yeah, okay. My mom was a big Garth Brooks fan when I was a kid, and she listened to like Reba McEntire and Randy Travis, like the old school country when it was still country, not all this like pop country like stuff that's out there now. Like I can appreciate that. I actually didn't mind Garth Brooks. I mean, hell, my mom listened to like Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton and shit like that. You know, it's not my thing, but
he has super funny songs. Like, I mean, if you sit there and you listen to the words, it's actually a whole story within the song. And he's got this one called Low Expectations. Like, you know, because, you know,
Garth?
No. BW Rigby.
Oh, okay.
He has a song, or is it High Expectations? Low Expectations or High Expectations? I might be wrong on that. But that song is kick-ass, and it's funny throughout the whole thing. It's talking about how, you know, you're not supposed to have, you know, high expectations of your, you know, his, like, low expectations. I'm pretty sure it's low. Yeah, it's a hilarious song. Anyway, go check him out. He's also got one mixology too as well, and it talks about like how no astrology towards like the you know, your signs as like, you know, Cancer, Capricorn, mixology. Just go to the bar and stir it up. That's how he works with it.
Sounds like country.
Yeah. Yes, but it's really good. He's a good guy. Oh, and he's a lawyer, so you know, if you need him.
Yeah, at some point I think we need to look into representation, like at management, you know, because again, it's hard. Like we try, like getting out, because being part of a scene is not just a matter of just playing shows. Like you got to go out and support your friends' bands and whatnot. You got to go to a lot of shows. You got to be seen. Right. You got to do a lot of supporting. You got to do a lot of networking, and it's not easy to just get out to shows every weekend. You know, with work schedules and just random shit. We try, and mostly what I do is if it's even a band that's out of town, if it's a friend of mine's band, I share flyers all the time. I share their friends' shows and whatnot, because honestly, like that's something I posted recently. It's like it takes 2 clicks to share something. Right. It's not that difficult. You know, it's like share now, and boom. You know, it doesn't take that much to do it. That's why I don't know why more people don't do it. But helping people out, like. I didn't realize, like with Josh, the first time he was ever on stage was with us. He came up and did Chopper with us the first time. Yeah. And it was great to finally get on a show with him when we did. And I think he just hit me up about some other shows we got to talk about and see if we can jump on with him. But yeah, it's definitely it's weird being back in the scene. I was out of it for a few years. I think 2012 to like 2019 or something like that. And I actually got back into it with a band called The Dichotomy, which is funny because 8 years before I did like their lyric videos and I was friends with their drummer. And I was like, dude, this band's the shit. I want to get in this band so bad. And then like 8 years later, my current guitar player, Hector, who was in the band, he put a post up like 2:30 in the morning. He's like, Dichotomy, looking for a singer. And I'm like, hello. He's like, Jesus, what are you doing up with that? So, I was in that band for about a year and then things just kind of weren't working out. So I was out and Jason and Hector decided to come with me. And then I've known Charlie we've been friends for over 20 years. We've been in and out of bands together and whatnot. So he was like kind of one of my first choices. I mean, I didn't know if he'd want to do it. So I'd actually hit up Jason from Phil. Right. Because I'd been in bands with him before and whatnot. So I hit him up and then like the drummer we had at the time, like talked about somebody, but really like if Charlie definitely wanted to do it, he was my first choice. And he came out of retirement, I guess you could say, and busted his ass and learned one of the songs. And that's the history of our band so far. But yeah, there's like a point where I was going with that. But no, it's just, and again, it's struggling, like just keeping relevant, trying to keep up with these kids. There's so many incredible bands coming out, these younger guys, and it's like they're out everywhere. They can be out all the time, every single night, every single show. And it's just not that easy as a 40-plus-year-old dude with kids and all that stuff going on at home.
No, definitely not that easy. We're not as young as we once were, and kids make you feel even older.
I feel that way after every single show. Like,
Ye-
I went a little more nuts than usual at the last show because I'm trying to put more into the performance because the more I get into it, the more my band gets into it, and the more people in the crowd. Oh yeah, I just posted that. I have a video actually of when Silosis they did their first music video for the last album, and I have a video of my son like rocking out in front of the TV, and I sent it to them, and they're like, "That's freaking awesome!" Like, thanks, he responded. Like, and so once in a while, like if mommy tells him to, he'll walk around going rah rah rah, and he's like, "Oh, sing like daddy." Yeah,
So funny.
oh, it's crazy.
That it's super funny because my daughter is 6, and when we first started playing Burn Forever stuff, she now just goes around the house and just
That's pretty much all you got to do. I mean, as long as you're not really doing like from directly from your throat, you won't hurt yourself. That's the biggest key with doing what I do is you got to do it right.
yeah.
You'll blow your throat out. Like when I first started doing this, I blew my throat at every show. Now it's just there's a freaking regimen I had to do too. It's like I drink like tea, then there's like a nebulizer I use, and there's like this thing you kind of blow into that loosens up any phlegm in your lungs. It's a whole freaking process. But yeah, like I mean, sometimes if I go really nuts, like I did at the last show, like I'm sore for a few days. Like my neck was just like it was just horrible. And then like I like to give like a couple of the guys shit on stage, like you guys don't move around. And like, yeah, and look at you after shows. You think we want to look like that? Like so
I seen this post the other morning. I wrote yesterday. Chasing Airplanes posted it. It's like a video of them like banging their head like that, and they're like, "We wonder why our neck hurts the next day." Like,
well, and the one thing I've noticed, if you have hair and you're doing the windmill, it's so much. Even if you have hair just headbanging, you don't have to do really shit because your hair will just move and it looks like. So that's why I kind of hate my bass player Jason because like he has like long flowing blonde hair, but he's also in really good shape. So rocking out doesn't hurt him too much. But yeah, I've noticed that. And like, I mean, I could grow hair. I just honestly don't. I haven't shaved my head for 20 years. So I don't really like having hair. I'm too freaking impatient for it to grow back out. So like, I'm thinking like, I'm trying to headbang really heavy. And I'm like, shit, this is way too hard. Like I'm going to fall over. Like sometimes I get dizzy. And that's why I'm glad I got my ego box up there. So I have something to like prop myself up on.
that's why you put your foot up there.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's always something that I've done. It's comfortable. Some stages like like I said, I've been playing the mug for a long time, and I've seen people just abuse the shit out of those monitors in the front of the stage because you can step on the side where the tweeter is, but if you step right in the middle, you're gonna fuck the speaker up. So I don't like doing that. Plus, again, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say this, but Jason, when we were playing Halfway to Halloween, I think it was Halfway to Halloween. He was with Sats, like he fell off the front of the stage because he did that. I think he put his foot on one of the monitors, and it does things too.
Your wife just commented, I think, as long as Jason doesn't hurt himself.
Well, that's our bass player. Did you see him do the flip at the show? He did like a somersault on stage while playing bass.
No, I did not.
Yeah, no, he's probably
I missed that.
Yeah, and the thing is I forgot. I have a camera equipment that I bring to do videos, and like that was like such a last minute kind of thing. I'm like shit, and I walked out of the house without it. But we've got other videos like that because I've been trying to film for the last couple of years, so I can do like a behind the scenes documentary of us. And yeah. Well, his wife gets worried because when we're back in Dichotomy, some tree tried to kill him, and he like totally messed up his knee, like really bad. Like it was a total like his leg was just fucked up. So for the first few shows when we started doing this, he's like, yeah, I don't think I can do that anymore. And then we had one really good show, and he's like, yep, boom, 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 and he freaking just did it. Because the first time he actually did it, like I thought he fell on his ass. Because when I'm on stage, I pay attention to what the crowd's doing. I don't pay attention to my guys because I trust they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I feel a boom, boom behind me. I look, and he's like on his knee, like he'd just gotten back up from the roll. And I'm like, dude, what the shit, man? Did you just like fall down? And I guess that's always been a thing he did, and I didn't know. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure he'll probably do it on the 28th because that's kind of a big show. Like it's getting a lot of promotion. It's a big deal. So who knows?
Well, for the vet event, we will have Paul just posted. If you have any questions, hit me up. He is recording some of the stuff that we do. He also just signed up for some Full Sail classes, so
Oh,
he is
nice.
gonna kind of take that video class to try to enhance his skills and his technique. And but for the vet event, you'll be able to at least get, some free footage from that. And then, if you want to do a behind the scenes thing, he definitely would be
Cool.
someone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with editing. Like I do a lot of motion design, like 3D motion design. Like I've done a lot of tour visuals and event visuals and whatnot.
Right.
So you get to have a demo reel. So like I've had to edit together my own stuff, which always sucks because as an artist, you don't really know what's your best stuff. So yeah, it's hard me being the one because then if I'm always filming, I'm not on camera and I'm part of the band. So it's like, and I watch a lot of band DVDs and usually there's just somebody following around with a camera and we don't quite have that because I'm the only one that shoots stuff. So, luckily, like I said, when we were filming the video for Tank Gut, like it was just at Charlie's house, we're recording everything, but like Jason and I took turns recording each other, doing the vocals and whatnot. So that was
Right.
fun for once to actually be on video.
Well, we'll have to see if you need any help with it, just let us know and we'll come
Oh,
out.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think like typically what I also tell the guys is when you're at home, just, noodling around, screwing around, whatever, just record yourself on your phones.
Yeah.
Because we need to have more content, more video content, because people just they don't really care about like flyers or they like the music, but if you put something like moving in front of them, they're like ooh, and they pay attention.
Do an animated poster, super easy.
Oh, I used to do a bunch of them for shows. They're just very time consuming.
They are very time. Yes, I have to agree
Because
with you on
I
that.
always overdo it because I do 3D work, so like I have to figure out a lot of times when I'm doing shows and bands send me logos, like bands don't know shit about that. Like they'll send me like this flattened low res fucking logo, and it's like I've got to figure out how to make it into a PNG or something like that. But what you have to do when you're doing it in 3D, if you're going to extrude a logo, it has to be an AI file. It has to be in vector format.
Right.
So taking a really low res flat logo and trying to get it, yeah, it's just very time consuming.
Also, the personal stuff people find so interesting, find the most interesting.
But yeah, normally actually for shows, a lot of time we actually do like just like funny little videos about like announcing the shows. Like it'll be us like you're sitting at the practice space just announcing it, or one time we did one just at Jason's pickup truck. We're just staying out there, acting like we're bullshitting, and it's like, oh hey, didn't see you there, and then we announce it and whatnot. We've fallen short on the last couple of shows. I think we're going to try and get one done maybe Sunday when we practice again for this one coming up on the 28th. But yeah, it's simply just that. I mean, like I've spent a lot of money on like camera equipment and shit over the last couple of years, so I try and use it as much as possible. The thing we're missing is we need, and what I have this like little thing that you put your phone in is like to have one of the wives or a friend actually up on stage, like
Right.
moving around with it. Because I have to set my camera up like on the side of the stage somewhere. And it's all static. There's like no, action and
Right.
whatnot. And if you want to make more of an engaging, even like live music video, you got to have movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got. I think the ones I like to do is I just like to kind of go up and personally, like when I go out and promote a show, normally I go on stage and I will literally get them like right in their little element and try to get
Cool.
up.
I think you got some of us. Dude. I know you got some of Josh.
Yeah, I got you and Josh.
Yeah.
I didn't get much of the other two. The reasoning is because you and Josh were really the only the eye focus for the night. Josh had stated that you guys were really good friends, and so like I just I wanted to make sure he had that footage for.
Yeah, Josh is such a freaking good dude, man. Like he is just the nicest dude. Like he's always like trying to push people, push things and everything. Like he's just a really awesome dude.
He
Like
is.
ever since I met him, he's just been like, and that was like I said, I was like, hey man, you want to, probably sing a song. And like I said, I didn't know he'd never been on stage before. So he was just like, okay. And well, I mean, I gave him warning. I asked him like, "Hey, the show coming up. Do you want it?" I forgot. We were just talking about something, and I was like, "Hey, man, you want to come up and sing?" Because like, I like doing that kind of shit, especially when you're seeing your friends with people. Like I've gone up and sang with friends bands and whatnot. It just kind of makes it look like the scene's more, in tune with each other, where it's not just a bunch of random bands playing together. Like
I don't think that you could have got his reaction even more on point because he was like, "Yo, okay."
well, on this last show, I was gonna have him sing one of our songs, but then like I forgot, like because Jason, my bass player, he does backups, and the way we do like certain parts of the song, it's like he doesn't just do one whole line; he'll do like part of the line, and I'll finish it.
Right.
And Josh had sent me, he'd like sent me a picture of like I'd send him the lyrics. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this part, and I'm like, "Shit, we can't do this like that way," And I talked to him because I mean, he's still fairly new at this, so. I explained to him like, dude, the worst thing I've ever had to deal with is like if I watch a video afterwards and I shit the bed on something. It's like you feel just the worst about it, And it's like if you're not sure about it, man, I'd suggest let's just do Chopper again. He's like, yeah, of course, whatever, dude. So I mean, hopefully he has me come up and sing with him sometime. I mean, that'd be really cool. I love doing that kind of shit. I love doing different stuff than just my band.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I think we've had a couple nominations for that. We for the vet event. We wanted the bands to turn in people that they wanted to nominate, people that they knew that had. So we wanted to nominate a bandmate and someone that wasn't in a band. So then it became like more of like a personal thing. So he had like 3 nominations for that from locals, for the vet thing. And then we also had, another gentleman, that has, I believe, like 4 kids, and he does it all by himself. So he's a local, that he's not in a band or anything, but we're using people from around town to nominate. So then that way we can kind of follow up with them, and, the organizations that we're working with, they can follow up with them, and we kind of get a whole personal thing of it all.
nice.
So I haven't really told him that yet.
Well, maybe he's watching. Who knows? Well, he's probably already working though. I mean, he gets up ass early, doesn't he? Like he's got a pretty tough job.
6:30 he leaves, so he gets up normally like 5:30, 6.
Yeah, if that, yeah. Like this was early for me. Like I'm a night owl. Like I'm usually up really late, doing shit, like working on a project or just, watching TV and shit. So like normally I would actually be up until about the time I got up this morning, but I was like, no, make sure you go to sleep. You got something to do in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited about this. Like I've never actually done this before. Not for like my band. Like I was on was it WMNF or whatever the hell it is, the local like Tampa radio thing here. I went on before just as a random thing because friends I was hanging out with were friends with whoever was doing it. So
right.
But there's 20 people in the room, so it's like getting a word in edgewise is kind of. So you just sit there and listen to everybody else.
So what number would you say would be the perfect number? So I'm thinking about doing a night show to where we have several different like artists from different bands come on. So like in StreamYard, you could put up to 10 people on here.
Oh, wow.
So I figured out a way to where we could pause everybody and play a video, and all of us watch the video and then come back and say what we think of it. And so like that is a project that is in play. But I kind of want to like get, everybody's advice, before I like start pinning everything that I like.
I think in person it would work way better because you can see if somebody's about to say something, but online like this, like I've been, for work and different jobs, like the last place I had, there was 100 and some people in one call, for like a Monday meeting kind of thing. And that just gets ridiculous. Well, because you can't tell like if somebody's about to say something,
Right. Well, so this on StreamYard, you have like mute and unmute, right? Mute me. It at the top of my screen, it says mic muted. So I guess maybe not on your end though. So does it show it on your end? Yeah.
I can mute
down at the
mine,
bottom right here, you see where your name is. So like it takes your mic off. So Yeah, but I'm like thinking maybe not 10, maybe like 5 or 6.
Yeah, like a whole band's worth kind of thing.
Yeah, and then just getting an artist from a different band, each person being from a different,
Oh
sponsor.
yeah.
So then that way when we come on, we can not only sponsor you guys, but we can also sponsor the music that's playing too as well.
But especially like for a show, like if you got a show with 4 or 5 bands coming up, like have somebody from each band where they can talk about the show, or they play with each other, they can kind of like, hey, remember that?
Yeah.
Have something. I mean, that'd be a great way to promote shows for people.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the audience that you have and whatnot, it could potentially be really good. Because I mean, a lot of times, again, with playing mixed shows like we do a lot of, like people don't know what to expect, or they may follow one of the bands, but they don't know anything about the other bands. So you get a chance to, and this is another thing. The people in the bands, like in this situation like this, if I was being a complete just like jackass, that would turn off people about my band.
Right.
Like I represent my band when I'm out. I go out to a lot of shows myself, so I represent my band, and that's a good way for people to see. It's like they think like they see me on stage, and they don't hang out with me. And you hung out with me after the show. Like I'm the same person on and off stage. I joke around on stage, and whatnot. But a lot of people wouldn't know that. They think because I'm up there screaming and yelling about pissed off shit that's just who I am.
Right.
So they're like, they wouldn't even bother, giving it a shot. Or likewise, you got somebody who's really into the heavier stuff that I do, but like they wouldn't, they would assume it's because, like, again, with Red Calling, it's a female fronted heavier band.
Right.
They're like, well, why would I want to listen to that? But then like you meet the people and then, they're really awesome. And like, oh, cool, I'll check it out, So yeah, I think that'd be a really good idea, at least for that purpose. And then if you can get it working out, then just, go nuts with it.
Yeah, I actually texted Ashley last night and I was like, so how can we do this? Like I have this idea, and then I was just gonna play the music in the background and like mute all of us, and then Josh was like, yeah, but that would be boring as hell to sit there and watch people just listen to music. He's like, if you could play a video, that would be cool. And
yeah.
So I kind of played around with StreamYard last night to see how I could like take everybody off and then play a video. So there would definitely have to be an announcement before each song, because you would have to individually take down.
Well, maybe depending on like how long the segment's going to be, if like you end up taking like commercial breaks, like say you're going to be out for 5-6 hours, you got 4 or 5 people from bands.
Right.
In between, we take a break, like say 20-minute break, so people can go smoke, have a drink, whatever. During that time, you play one of the videos from one of the bands that are playing, kind of thing. Or if it's just random people, you can pick, if it's not even music people, you can still pick bands that you play their videos and whatnot in between, breaks and segments.
Absolutely. I kind of want to get like a either doing a in between team or even just a permanent team, kind of, get 5 or 6 people together that can mark out like an hour and a half on like a Tuesday night, like at 8:00 or something silly,
Yeah.
Like after dinner, after family stuff, because I have to cook dinner and I've got to put the kids, bath, kids, bed, school, So 8:00 is normally, an okay time for me. And then everybody's done had dinner. So actually Ashley came up with that time, and I have to give all that credit to her, because the logistics and thinking things through to the T, that is her go-to, and she is the queen of all queens when it comes to event planning.
She is really awesome. Like, I mean, she is very motivated to help out the scene. Like we were talking, she's like, hey, you want to play this show? And we're like, yeah. She's like, I can probably make that happen. I'm like, all right, cool. But because I mean, she was doing the Nocturnium thing with the husband, and it was really good. But then like with it, I guess he's gotten kind of busy with filth and whatnot. So
right.
She, they went on hiatus, and now she's just like full bore trying to do shit to help the scene out, which I think is really awesome.
Absolutely.
It's great when people want to do that, because she knows, she's been involved in the scene now. It's not easy just doing it on your own as a band,
No, I had when I came across Chasing Supernovas, we had decided to do the Easter Bunny Beatdown, which is the battle of the bands that we're doing in April. And so we have a interview on the 26th of April, which is going to be with the band that we are featuring for the Easter Bunny Beatdown. Unfortunately, because of like scheduling issues and stuff like that, Chasing Supernovas won't be able to come down. So we are looking for a new band to feature. So if anybody wants to play on the 26th and the 29th for the Easter Bunny Beatdown, the Vox band, the lead singer for that, will be out there judging along with the dudes. They'll be out there judging, and then we have 2 cover artists that are going to be out there judging along with the original artist. It's going to be a lot, dude. I mean, we've got let's see if I can bring this. Of course, my daughter. Yeah, you see this? Look, this is like my workbook to like write my notes and stuff in.
Nice.
She had her way with it yesterday, apparently. So Hand of Reason, Crowview, Curse of Three, Ballistic Mafia, and we are still in question with a couple others. So, give me 1 second. Okay.
Cameo.
Yes.
It's the Easter Bunny Beatdown. Have you seen the video of what the Easter Bunny does in the other 364 days of the year?
No.
You gotta look that shit up.
Oh,
it's literally a guy in a Easter Bunny suit just terrorizing people. I mean, beating the shit out of people. Like, it's fucking funny.
Did you see our so me and Kyle came up with actually I have to give more credit towards Kyle from Chasing Supernovas. He I was like, okay, so it's Easter, we got to come up with something to do with the Easter Bunny. So we were like, well, an adult Easter egg hunt. And he's like, how about the Easter Bunny Beatdown? And I was like, dude, that is amazing. Like, how do you do that? He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I freaking love it. So we came up with this. I don't know if you can see it.
No, it's on the flare.
Yeah. So yeah, we're looking for a new band to feature. The Curse of Three we're thinking about, also quite a bit of others too as well. But yeah, so
I'm trying to find a video for you, so it's freaking. I mean, it's old, so it's like kind of low quality, but I've shown so many people this thing. It's like, what the hell?
So Janice said 8 o'clock sounds like a good time because it gives the parents time to get the kids to bed and also hit working crowds during down and time to household stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking too. It actually Miss Ashley came up with that time because she was absolutely correct about that. You know, I'm at home all day, so I don't leave to go to work. I'm at work all day at home. So when they
same.
After they get home from school, it's, you know, we do our thing. This morning, the little ones have had the little bit of a stomach bug the last couple days, so we played hooky for the last 2 days.
Isn't school for kids grand? Jesus, germ factories. Oh my God.
It is redonkulous, man. Anything and everything they could possibly get in school, I mean, they get it.
And I have a crappy immune system, so I mean, a sick person looks at me and I get sick.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks because like half the time, like right before a show, like one of the kids are sick, so it's like she's got to quarantine the kids for me so I don't get sick. Because it's like, you know, as a musician, you can get sick and still, you know, play your instrument. As a vocalist, you get sick, you can't do your job.
That's right.
So I shot you a link to the video on Facebook. So that it's called The Easter Bunny Hates You.
The Easter Bunny Hates You.
Yeah. It's like seriously messed up.
Okay, let's look at this.
Of the Easter Bunny, huh? Here, let's take a look at the Easter Bunny.
Oh shit. That is so funny. He like so beat the crap out of the TV.
Oh, it gets better.
You're useless. Go back there to your room with your music and your Bruce Lee posters. You know what? You're a loser. You'll always be a loser because you're stupid. You know what? I hate you.
I love this, dude.
I
Like I don't think I've ever seen this full version. I've seen the one where he's usually beating the crap out of people.
Get out of my house! Don't ever come back! You're not my son anymore, man!
Oh yeah, he gets in the alley and it just starts.
Like, he's in Taekwondo class?
Oh,
Or
it starts
just
getting
martial
crazy
arts?
around like 1 minute 30 seconds when it starts getting crazy.
Oh yeah, now he's going through it. Oh my gosh, he just shoved that whole hot dog down that guy's mouth. Oh my god. Here, I'm gonna see.
So when you said the name of the Battle of the Bands, I'm like, oh, just instantly thought of this.
Let's see if I can put this. I'm gonna put it in the comments in the chat just so everybody can kind of watch it later. Or
Yeah, I mean it's 14 years old. I mean like you can only go up to 240p. Oh my god.
oh, now we're gonna echo for a second. Hold on, let me see. All right, there we go. There we go. I added it, so it should come up in the comments if anybody wants to watch it. It is quite hilarious. I'll be done in just a minute, okay?
Can I cut this as a pink pop for my Barbie?
No, we're not cutting the clothes, honey. Okay, give me just a couple minutes and we'll talk about it. Hey, a couple minutes.
Like there's
Yeah.
one scene where like he's beating I think he's like beating somebody in an alley and like somebody sees him from the window and he like points up at him. He's like
They have that that costume. Thank you, Miss Janice. She's 6. Carolina is her name. She's my bundle of joy. She just actually turned 6 on the same day he did. Her birthday is the 9th. Too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, the sun's getting bright on my window here.
So we they have the that costume that I put on the flyer. They have it on Amazon, dude, for $60.
You could probably get a Spirit of Halloween and like for the next year kind of thing.
I'm thinking about getting it and wearing it to the beat down.
That'd be awesome.
I thought it'd be cool.
Well, yeah, no, it'd be freaking awesome. Definitely.
Like just bring like a bat, like with like barbed wire wrapped around it or something. Like I mean something freaking, and then just wear the bodysuit. Like nobody would know that it was me.
True. My brother-in-law dresses up with something weird every year. Like it's one time he did the T-Rex. I think he did a Minion one year. He always does something weird every year for Halloween. I think it's just the older that his girls get, the more embarrassing it's going to get for them. Yeah.
Listen, I had my daddy, God rest his soul, man. He had got into an accident when he was he grew up in Pennsylvania, so he was ice skating, and they had like a pole where like that was in the middle of the lake that he was skating on, and he wasn't paying attention and he ran smack dab into this pole. He knocked all his front teeth out right here, so all he had was his back teeth and his bottom teeth. So he had like these fake teeth that he like clamped in, right? So he used to get underneath our bed, and he had like that what is that guy's name? Nicholson, what's his name?
Jack Nicholson.
Yes. So you remember, off of like Anger Management where he like has his hair like all staticky.
Oh.
Well, my daddy used to do that and then like hide underneath the bed and then come out and like clank his teeth together, like take his teeth out, like so weird.
So that's another thing most people don't know about like me. It's I actually have dentures. So like I had to relearn how to sing. Even now sometimes like I have to figure out like because it's a whole different animal because the way you have to fluctuate your mouth and your voice and do everything. Like, it's a whole like imagine just like having like solid like lappy tappy stuck to the top of your mouth all the time. That's literally like what having dentures is. Like it's there's just like a thickness to it, so it's like you have to have this all the time. So it's like
Can't you
it's
like get 'em
weird.
screwed up there though?
I didn't have that kind of money. Shit,
Oh.
that's like yeah. I would love to have gotten the implants, but that's like really expensive. I mean, trust me, I wish I would have just taken better care of my teeth throughout my life. But yeah, I recommend anybody who's about to get them, don't do it. Get the
Don't.
implants if you can afford it. It's gonna be so much better because I mean, eating with these damn things sucks too. I don't even eat with them in. I really don't because
So
I figure out how to eat shit without.
my daddy acted like Freddy Krueger under the bed because he had long nails at 3 a.m. Scared us. Can't do that stuff with our own. See, we used to watch the Leprechaun when we were little, and Good morning, Michael.
Horror movie?
The Leprechaun, yeah. Like
I
my
don't
mom
watch
did
those.
not care. Like my mom was like, I mean, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like we all watched it, and it was like,
Well, my mom did the same thing. We used to watch all those B movies. We'd rent when you could rent VHS tapes.
yeah.
I mean, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, when I was like 5.
I
The neighbor had it, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I'm not big on clowns though. Like that is like my thing. Okay,
Clowns from Outer Space is a classic, though. The movie's a classic.
Listen, let me tell you something. If you dress up like, even at parades, man, I don't know what it is. It's I don't know. I don't know. I'll walk all the way. Look, I kid you not. They'll come around the parade with like them little cars and stuff, and I'll walk away. Like I will walk. And one decided to follow me, and I'm like, "Yo, homie, don't do that. I will play you out. Don't do it."
I've been trying to get the guys to do the Ninja Turtles for Halloween shows. I mean, there's only 4 of us right now. I mean, if we get a drummer, I think Jason will probably be Casey Jones because he can pull that shit off. But I want to do Ninja Turtles. We were actually okay. So this last year, it kind of got up to the last seconds. Last year, we were going to do like male like tennis players. We're going to get like the short ass, like up to your crotch shorts and like tight polos and like the headbands and shit. But we couldn't find it. So like the wife and I went as Chucky and the wife, whatever the hell her name was, whatever her name was. Chucky and
the bride.
Yeah, we went as Chucky. Like I dressed as Chucky, she dressed as a bride, and then Hector went as Jason from Friday the 13th. Charlie and his girlfriend did like a steampunk thing, and then Jason did like a Joker thing.
Yeah.
Of course, he had to do it with like no shirt on because he's got the. It kind of makes the rest of us feel kind of bad. We got a bass player that's just like an Adonis. He's like in phenomenal shape. He's got the long blonde hair, good looking dude. And I'm like, you should be the front man. Like, because the front man's always like the I don't know, I guess better looking guy, but whatever. I can't play bass, so that's not going to work out too well.
Can't do it yet with the bunk beds though. Levi would hit her head on the ceiling, and I would do it now though. But the kids would just love it instead of being scared. Yeah.
Yeah, Livy's our 4-year-old, about to be 4-year-old in February. I mean, she cracks me the hell up. She's nonverbal though. She's nonverbal still, so it's interesting. But she makes noises and she does gestures, and she's smart as hell too. So she does all these like interesting things. But she's like a badass. Like she just gives no fucks. Oh come on, Hector, that would have been great. That was the whole point, dude. That was the whole freaking point.
Look, man, I don't know. The tennis shorts, those things are really short. Those are like PT shorts from the military,
Yeah, no, but that was kind of the whole point. Is like we wanted to do something like interesting. I mean, like Sat Scream at the Silence. I think one year for Halloween, they all dressed up like in beach gear and shit. Like they did something. We were trying to get everybody else in on it because again, it was like a Halloween show. I think it was with Sats and Love Pit. Who else was on that show? But yeah, we were trying to get everybody in on doing a Halloween thing because like Halloween's my wife's favorite holiday.
Mine is.
So, so we're like, hey, let's try and figure out something. But yeah, I want to do that. But if we can do Ninja Turtles, that would be really fun. Just for shits and giggles, trying to do something like unified.
That would be cool. Although, I think they have that at Party City.
Probably, yeah, most likely. I mean, it's just like you got to try and have fun with this whole thing. Like, I mean, we take it seriously, writing the music and doing our performances, but at the same time, man, you got to just have fun with it as much as possible. That's why, like I said, like I don't act all angry. like I have to look angry when I'm doing what I do on stage. But like I said, I go up there, I joke around, I make jokes. You know, I mean, we sometimes play like shows in front of 5 people, so you kind of got to make the best out of it.
I
You know,
I told Josh that I seen this post one time, right? And it's like everybody thinks medalists are so like hard and evil, and like it's literally like this dude floating around on a unicorn floaty.
dude, George Corpsegrinder from Cannibal Corpse, like he plays WoW, and he gives away stuffed animals to like needy kids. Like he's like the godfather of death metal and especially vocalist, but this guy is like the coolest, sweetest dude like you would ever meet. Like pretty much all the guys in Cannibal. I mean, most of the guys I know in the big death metal bands are all like that. They're all just kind of cuddly weirdos.
Yeah. Like I like to think of it like really, really hard, like exterior, like, ooh, right? Or and then like gummy bear in the center.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far with myself, but you know, I'm jovial. You know, I can make jokes and stuff. I have a very dark sense of humor. I mean, a lot of times that can get me into trouble, but you know,
It's,
I mean, you've
yeah.
had a few. And that's one of the lucky things is like even if I have like a few beers before I go on stage, I sweat it all out. So it's like by the time I get off stage, I'm sober as a judge. So it's like I don't make too many mistakes with shit that I say. At least I try not to.
We have a rule when we take photos of the band: no crossing of arms and means.
Yeah, we have those. We just don't post them. Well, it's not mean faces. We're not. I mean, okay. So again, we're pretty much DIY and everything. Like I have all like the cameras and shit. So like we'll set it up in the practice space, and we'll take pictures. But I mean, trying to, Jesus. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let me finish what I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, like I said, even filming the video for Tanka, like there's just a whole bunch of like behind the scenes shit of trying to get it done because it's such a fun song. We couldn't stop laughing our asses off because there's also sound bites. And now in the video, I put the video of stuff from Tropic Thunder.
Right.
Because the song starts with, I'm going to go potty. Want to hold my dick? And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then there's a part where it's like, big ass titties. It's like, you can't really, you know, take it too seriously. So same with pictures. Like there's been a bunch, like if anybody saw the behind the scenes pictures in between stuff of us trying to like, you know, get it, because we had to change positions and yeah, like it's crazy. So what my wife Janice was just saying about like she got me probably like it's weird. It's like a gag gift for my birthday, but it's probably one of like the most insanely awesome gifts I've ever gotten. Like Seven is one of my favorite movies of all time. So the other day, I think it was the day of my birthday on Monday, she's like, "Hey, you got a package?" So I go out and there's like this box on the table and I pick it up. I'm like, "Wow, this is freaking light as hell. What the hell is this?" And then I look at the label. She got like an old shipping label and it says J Doe on it. And I'm like, somebody sent me a really cool thing from Seven. And of course I'm like, what's in the box? But she actually went through, like, she put a lot of thought. She actually went online, Googled the address that John Doe lived at in the movie, made sure it was on the shipping label. And she bought like a foam head, painted it, put makeup on it, put her wig from the Chucky thing that we did, and like put it in a box. And I was like, this is so freaking awesome. Like, it's like probably the best gift I've ever gotten.
That is the coolest thing ever, dude.
Yeah, oh, it is. It's actually, well, I think I have it. It's, oh, yeah, it's right here. So, yeah, see, there's a head in the box.
I love that.
Yeah, and then so I said she did the freaking label. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, she did this old school label. You know, so it looks, because, you know, UPS labels don't look like that now.
No.
So, yeah, no, that was freaking awesome. Like, I was just like, that's really, it's like you don't even know how to react to that. You're like, that's just so fucking awesome, you know.
It's cool that she took that kind of time though to like
Yeah, no doubt. But it's hard to like shop for her though, because she never like wants anything for herself. Everything that she usually buys is for the house or for the kids. Like she's never like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. It's
right,
like,
but she's got to be like into things. Like,
but that she's not really into things. I mean, like her favorite movie is The Crow. So
okay.
like one time I was like I collect statues, like you can see in the background here. I have a shit ton of them out in our living room on a shelf. I mean, just tons of them. So I when my son was down visiting, we went to went to one mall, and it was like FYE was back. Remember FYE, the store that had like movies and games and shit in it?
Yes.
It's back apparently. I think it's at Citrus Park. So we went there, and there happened to be a crow statue. And I'm like, oh shit, man, I want that, because I was a big fan of the Crow back then too. But you know, I made sure I got her a shirt because that's like her favorite thing.
Right.
But no, it's just like it's so hard. Like I had to wait like all year for her to finally go, I want that thing, and then I make sure I get that one thing for her. Try. But you know, she's not. She just doesn't. She's not like a needy person. That's the thing. Like I said, she's devoted to like making sure the house and the kids are, you know, yeah. But the easiest thing like for her is like buy her jewelry. Just
Yeah.
buy her a ring, buy her a necklace, and she's perfectly happy. You know, like she get this year. She we both got into doing Legos. So I got a bunch of Legos for Christmas, and I got her some Legos. But then, you know, she wanted to get into like the chainmail jewelry building it, so I got her a couple of those kits. And then the really annoying things, the little dots you have to like press into a canvas thing.
Oh
She
yeah.
hasn't started that yet, but that's going to be interesting because those things are like fucking tiny.
That's very tedious project, but it can be very cool too as well. Like I mean, you know, moms they kind of like that stuff. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
quiet time.
interesting. I mean, because like even with like movies, I mean, she likes movies, but like most of the stuff we have stuff that I like, and she's like, oh yeah, I like it too. But mostly all she watches is like fucking ghost adventure stuff. Like pretty much all she like watches, and I have to like walk away because I feel bad because I'll sit there and I'm like, wow, that's so fucking fake. But I don't want to ruin it for her, and I feel bad every time I do it because it's like, who cares? She likes the thing. I should just shut the fuck up and let her watch what she wants to watch. And I feel bad because I did it the other day too. I'm like, wow, this is such bullshit. Like, there's no fucking way. What the fuck? And then I'm like, god damn it, I know she really likes this shit. I should be fucking being an asshole about it, you know. But yeah, no, that was just fucking like awesome. I was just like, there's no way. Like, that's just really awesome. You know, I mean, I was joking. I was like, you know, the human head's like 11 pounds, I think. Like, you know, put a brick or something about it would have been a little better. But no, that was crazy. Like, oh yeah, she leaves it on for the puppy too. Fucking puppy. Yeah. No, so we do have this puppy we're supposed to be fostering because I had two dogs that I had from when they were puppies. Like my pit Batty, she was like 16 when she passed, and then like, which was 1 year, and then a year later my Rot, again I had him, so he was like 4 weeks old. He was like 15 and he passed.
Right.
So you know, anybody who has pets, they're basically your children.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my perspective is, if your child dies, you don't just replace it with another one, do you? I mean, you know. But my friend Deb, she runs a rescue, Ruga's Rescue. She's been doing this like as long as I've known her, and she called up. She was texting Janice, and she was like, "Hey, we got these puppies. They've been abandoned for like 3 weeks. There's 3 puppies stuck in a crate, like eating their own piss and shit." And basically, if I didn't say yes to letting this puppy be fostered, he was going to be euthanized. And I'm like, okay, I can't, you know. But now he's a puppy, so like he's like already chewing up all kinds of crap, and I'm like, I don't want another dog. I really don't. So I'm kind of stuck in that situation where I'm like, well, it's not about you, but you know, again, I love those dogs. Like I said, I raised them. They were my children. You know, it was really rough when I lost them. I mean, it was time. I mean, they were really old. They had a good life, but it's just a thing for me. You know, I don't, you know, but yeah. So, and luckily, like I said, the kids don't really like. I mean, my son, like even. Like Christmas, like, you know, we go a little nuts. We buy him all kinds of crap, but after the second gift, he doesn't give a shit what comes afterwards. So it's like, yeah. Side seat interviewing, would you? Jesus Christ. But I mean, it's not even for like the kids again, because my daughter wants to have nothing to do with them. Like he goes, she's just like, go away. And then she's like, when my son Grayson gets home from school, like, yeah, when he first comes home, he'll be on the couch and the puppy will be like licking him and wrestling with him. But then as soon as like he gets his tablet and he gets TV, he's like, yeah, see ya, I'm out of here, I don't care. You know, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. You know, it's just one of those things where, like I said, with my friend Deb, what she does, I mean, she literally dedicates her freaking life to it. And she has. So it's like, I can't really be like, oh, I don't want a dog. Because she's usually got an average of like 12 dogs in her house at one time.
Right.
You know, so just to plug that again, it's called Ruga's Rescue. Like, check it out. It's a not-for-profit. She does a lot. She's been on the news about it, and so I would
Ruga's Rescue.
Ruga's RUGAZ Rescue.
Let's see.
You know, if you're looking to adopt, she's definitely the person. Like, she's straight on it. Like, there's no screwing around. She makes sure everything's done right. If you're fostering, like we did, like everything's provided for you. But I mean, I've never met anybody who. Well, basically, she loves dogs way more than she loves humans. So,
all right, I got it. You go.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing besides my band I want to plug, it'd definitely be that.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. I've got it. I'm following it. Um, let's see. Okay, there we go. I've got it all set up.
Sweet.
Sweet. All righty. So, Will, anything else you want to let us know on Get Out of Nashville?
No, just we're hopefully having the new EP done soon. We got some shows coming up. I mean, definitely check us out on Facebook. I mean, we're all over. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Our music's on all the different streaming services. You know, you've got Apple Music, Spotify. I don't know if we have a Bandcamp or not. I got to talk to guys about to get that. And I don't know if we ever made it on Pandora, but I also don't know if anybody uses Pandora. But yeah, and you know, this year we're definitely trying to branch out, get out of town a lot more if we can. Like we're going to Ocala a couple times. We're trying to get back out to Orlando. So if anybody has any connections for venues out in Orlando,
You should hit up Massive Media.
okay, yeah, definitely.
The more, you know, you were speaking about management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He is one of Osment Entertainment's partners, and he helps me out with a lot, dude. He's got a programming that helps with, you know, the booking aspect of it all. You know, Love to Hate, Ocean's End. Oh my gosh, I'm like running out of like them guys. Is it Relevant Saints? I believe is too as well. You know, all again underneath him. He is an amazing guy. His name is Matt with Massive Media. Hit him up, and he is just an awesome guy to have on your team, dude.
For sure. I mean, the problem we run into in the scene, which has kind of become an issue, is like people that call themselves promoters.
Right.
But they don't promote shit. They just try and book bands, and like they don't even promote their own fucking shows. And it gets really annoying, and it gets frustrating for a lot of bands. I mean, like Will from Ocean's End, that guy's a promoting freaking god. Like that dude like promotes all kinds of shit. He's just going all the time. He's a really awesome dude. He puts us on shows with them all the time. You know, if we can play him and whatnot. And I mean, you can see the work he's put in. They're blowing up quick. I mean, they've got a tour booked. I think they just signed some like label or management deal. Mm-hmm. And I can see why. I mean, he is going all the time. You know, he's just that kind of dude. He's very personal. He's very friendly. He's very like approachable about shit, you know. So it's nice to have people like that. And again, like Ashley in the scene that really just give a shit about the scene. And that's all they care about. They're not worried about getting their name out there. They're not worried about like if they're going to make money off of it. You know, they just love what they do.
Yeah.
So we just need a lot more of that. Like I said, I try to promote as much as I can because I know what it's like. You know, I don't have a huge following or anything. So, you know, I go and do what I can do.
Well, anytime you get like a flyer, dude, just send it over or tag me in it, and I'll make sure I put it up on my story. I have Osment Entertainment Group. We have the normally I share to the Weed, Coffee, and Metal group. I don't know if you know that one, but that one's a really cool morning. A lot of good people in that one, the Weed, Coffee, and Metal one. So I share a lot of my stuff there. Metal Events of Florida, there's that one too as well. I normally, as soon as I get it, I just throw it to a whole bunch of groups.
We've gotten into a couple of the Tampa groups, like the Florida death metal scene, and I think the Tampa death metal scene. Like, because we played that show, we played that show for Brian with Josh and those guys from out of town.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we kind of, you know, we want to get into a lot of the heavier shows, and we know Brian runs a lot of badass shows. So, you know, it was a Wednesday night, but we also like helping out of town bands if we can, because I know it's got to suck coming from out of town and you play on a Wednesday night, there's nobody there.
Yeah. And
that was actually a really good turnout at that show. For a Wednesday night, that actually was a really good turnout. We were kind of really, really happy about that. Damn it, I totally forgot what I was fucking talking about. Oh yeah, anyway, so we're trying to get on certain radars so we can get on these bigger shows. Like we got on to Death Fest. You know, we want to get on to like, you know, Swarm Fest if we can, and just a lot of these bigger shows we want to get onto. So we don't mind basically paying our dues. I mean, again, me and Charlie have been in the scene over 20 years, but this is a new band. We still feel like you have to pay your dues. Just because we know people doesn't mean we deserve anything more than anybody else does, you know.
Right.
So we've been doing it. We've been doing a lot of shows. We've done Sunday shows, we've done Thursday shows, done Wednesday shows. Because sometimes you have to do favors for venues. Like if you want, like that's always been the way at the Mug. Like if you want to get on a really good show, sometimes you gotta, you know, do kind of a iffy show. And it's like that with anybody else. Like, you know, if you do a show for somebody and help them out, they're more likely to help you out if possible. So,
right. Well, yeah, we. I was gonna say something, but yeah, Massive Media. He has probably like 4 people, including me on his team that share all this stuff. He's a really good guy. I don't know as for the bands as in promoting what he charges. I'm totally free. I don't charge anything for any of my promotions. I believe if you know you're good, then you should be heard. That's why we have the morning chat and we have the night chat. And we got the one that we're trying to start on Tuesday nights. So then that way we can kind of just get everybody out there on a free avenue. So it's not, so
Yeah.
rough on them. I mean, I am a single mom of 3. So, the donations are very, awesome. Our team does all come out for the interviews and stuff like that. So we try to put on a huge party for everybody. Like for this one, the masquerade party, I think we're doing turkey legs and we're doing like a big like Viking dinner almost. Like we're having
Gotcha.
like gauntlets, turkey legs, bundles of grapes, and homemade breads and stew. So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. So we normally do like a family dinner with our artist, and then we have Barbarazzi Photos come out, who she takes professional photos of each individual one of the whole interview. Actually, we have Will Kimbrell and his wife Danielle come out, and she runs our Body, Mind, and Soul project. So she brings little things for the artists to kind of okay, so last time she brought us like charcoal, like it's like charcoal little light things and frankincense and myrrh. So it's like she explains that it's supposed to purify your energy and the air around you and do all that. Anyway, so she runs that. And then we have Miss Diane Everett that comes out, and she's written the metaphysical visionary poetry books. She's a very amazing human. She makes drums out of animal hide, and we're putting a drum circle together for her for that. But anyway, that's a whole different story.
I hope that doesn't get up to the PETA freaks.
Listen, though, yeah, but there's a whole thing with it. It is not, and I know that there's some mad animal lovers out there that think that, fate is a thing, and everybody is fated to what they come to, including animals. And they die when they're supposed to die. And it's not about, wearing an animal. It's how you honor the animal after it's dead.
For sure.
So, like if you take, a dead fox and throw it over to the side and be like, oh, screw you, that's not good. Like if you have like a fox fur and you sit there and you pet it and you honor the animal, then it's a, kindness is a thing. Yeah.
I mean, luckily in that regard, like a lot of like the
yes
fur you can buy nowadays is usually it's synthetic anyway. So I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm pretty neutral when it comes to most topics. I just don't like getting involved when it comes to like conflict of other people and whatnot. Like
I'm more like a peaceful creature. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And but I'm not gonna sway. We have a photo shoot with Massive Media in February. We're all going up there. I do. My whole team. We're taking my whole team up there. Spade Image is going to be taking photos, and Massive Media. We're going to meet up in the studio. It's going to be an awesome freaking time, dude. But we're taking my whole team up there. And that was something I wanted to inquire, and my shoot was my spirituality, so I want it to be included in my style. So I am all, I'm a very hard creature to explain, but, I'm very earthy and very grounded, and I pretty much love everything around me, and including dead animals.
I mean, I have Wiccan friends, so I understand that. I mean, I don't subscribe to any kind of spirituality kind of thing. Like, I'm definitely more agnostic. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an atheist. I'm just agnostic. Like, I question things.
Yeah.
But I don't criticize other people for doing it though. Like, if you do you, that's, I mean, that's kind of what I feel religion's supposed to be about. not to even open that can of worms, but no, I just feel that like people should be able to express the way they want without imposing on other people. That's just the way I feel about religion. I mean, that's what I write songs about. I mean, we have a song called "The Uncaring Inhuman Maelstrom" that's coming out in the new EP, and it's basically just about that, where it's like question everything, believe what you want, don't just don't be held down by somebody else's beliefs, or if they don't agree with you. I mean, you can agree to disagree all you want, but there's no reason to have conflict and fucking wars over things like religion. You know what I mean?
I think if people sit down and stop having big energy, then and just be okay with other people having opinions and other people liking things that are different from other people. It is okay that I have dreads in my hair. You don't have to wear them. And,
I mean,
and it is not necessary for you to come up and be like, do you wash your hair? So,
yeah, I mean, I've known many people that have had dreads. I mean, it was never really my thing, but I mean, why should that matter? It's not my thing. I mean, it's a lot of different things of how I try and live my life. I mean, my oldest child is trans, and that was one thing I told her when she came out to me a long time ago. I was like, listen, that's great. I support you. I love you. I don't really care what anybody else thinks, but the rest of the world doesn't think like me.
right.
And my opinion about all of it is just, why don't everybody just mind their own fucking business, take care of you and your own, and don't worry about it, what anybody else is doing. Like, it doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. Just shut the hell up and take care of your own shit,
My brother has a set of twins, and my brother's son has literally liked pink Barbies and girl stuff since he was 1. I mean, he grew up around the other girls, and he likes dresses, and so like, and we don't look at him any different. Like, I think that is a very fabulous thing for people to be different. And I encourage it. If you like something different that nobody else likes, do it, like, because it makes you stand out. And, obviously,
I mean, one time, like I said, when, in the beginning it was kind of rough because, again, it's a whole different, I mean, obviously I don't really know exactly what it is, but I've spoken a lot to her about it. Right. And, even in the beginning because I wasn't there most of her life. Like me and her mom, just things didn't work. And most of her, childhood, I wasn't really around. We were in contact, but I wasn't there physically.
Right.
So, things came to a head a few years ago where she was very angry about a lot of things, and she kind of, directed at me. So I flew up there on a whim. Right. I flew up the next day and I sat her down with her mom and her brother, and I'm like, listen, that's fine. So you're my daughter now. That's great. You're not getting any special treatment. My son, my daughter, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You're just my child. That's all it really matters. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I don't understand why the rest, I mean, whatever, man. I mean, I know a lot of people when it comes to even racism is never right. It's never good. But they're just people that are just so old and so ingrained, like they don't even think about it. It sucks, but that's just the case. But again, people just need to get over it. It is the way the world's going. It is weird. Even sometimes, like me, I watch shows and I see like tons of women now that there weren't before. And that, again, it's fine. It needs to be integrated better because that is the way society is. Like, everything should be equal. Everybody should be equal. You know what I mean? So, but it is, I guess, polarizing and alarming for a lot of people because it's just a change from the norm, but
they say that and I tell my girlfriend Cassie this all the time. We invited her out to do the interviews with us because she was hermiting herself at home. She's transgender. She was in Desert Storm. She's a vet, and she, came out not a long time ago, but it was just a few years ago. So she's just now starting to, transgender over. She is an amazing person. And to be able to be around her and, I wanted her to be more open. So that's why I invited her out to the interviews. So she comes out and sells tickets for us at like our interview processing. So then that way it kind of gives her more human interaction because she kind of hoards herself sometimes. Love you to death, Cass, but you do. And, so... But back in the day, they used to say that, in Egyptian times, that the men had to go through several different training to learn how to be more like female. And when they hit that level, that's when they got to wear the wigs, right? They were
Okay.
able to wear the wigs once they reached that level. And a friend always explained it to me is that it's just their souls reincarnating into that high level that they've already graduated to. So they have intuition on both sides. So, it's, it just means they're very special people. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, I just look at it as, like I said, it's she's my child. That's it. I mean, there's no, because a lot of people, though, I mean, because obviously when this first became a thing, like I wanted to figure out as much as I could about it so I could understand it, so I could be as supportive as possible. Because that's the biggest thing, though, with a lot of these people that are like coming out is the suicide rate of, like, trans people is so high because their families just reject them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Even if I didn't agree with it, even if I was some kind of bigoted piece of shit, I still would have been like, okay, this is my child. It doesn't matter what. And that's kind of where I had to get through it. Because again, it obviously it was something, I didn't know how to deal with. I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
Right.
But my first instinct is exactly, as soon as she came out, I was like, all right, cool. This is your thing. Like, I love you. I understand. Just, I'm going to need some time to adjust to this. But that was the one thing is I wanted to make sure is that she had a support system so that she didn't feel alone.
Right.
Because again, I mean, and I don't, like I said, I don't really pay attention to anybody else and what they do because it doesn't matter to me. It's not my problem. My family and my close-knit, circle of friends is all that matters. You screw with one of them, you'll see what's really up with me. But otherwise, I don't give a shit. You do what you want. You do you. Just leave me alone. Don't interfere with mine. I won't interfere with yours. And I just wish more people were like that in the world. We'd have things would be so much more chill. You know what I mean? If like race and sexuality and any of that shit, like none of it matters. It really fucking doesn't, man. Just mind your own business.
No, it doesn't matter. And, it is something that is overjudged and way too much thoughts put into it. I mean, and that goes back from way older days and people just not giving other people the same respect that they deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry,
energy.
I didn't mean to get into a whole thing about it, but I mean, if we're talking about stuff like, again, it's also kind of giving people a view into how a lot of metal singers are. I mean, like, again, like, I write angry lyrics, but it's about that kind of stuff. Like our song "No Lives Matter," it's specifically about that. Like, that's, people think that like it's the whole like against like Black lives, but it's not. It's the actual literal lyrics is in the grand scheme of things, no lives matter. Because like, if you think about it on a universal scale, like we're just here and then we're gone. You know what I mean? But the amount of time people waste on hate and just being angry about other people's shit, it's ridiculous. And that's kind of what the whole song was about, was just like, dude, like, just chill. Like, none of it matters.
I think once you've gone through those life experiences of, losing close people, and, most people have not experienced that type of hurt yet. You know what I mean? So there, and it's really funny because, I was in high school, I was a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps ROTC. So I had a lot of like guy friends that went to the military. I, however, did not. When my guy friends came back, they were not the same. They were different. And it was awkward at first for me because I didn't really rightfully know how to be there. I have a lot of friends now, that very close best friends actually that, have PTSD issues, and they are like one of the most like humble people that I know, every single one of them. I mean, and, have such a great appreciation for life, and I know that it's, due to the fact of, some of the stuff that they went through over there. Actually, it's probably all due to that fact. Yeah.
I mean, for sure. Yeah. I mean, when you go through certain life experiences, it humbles you. You realize that like you have a lot more to appreciate, and because of how horrible things probably are overseas and whatnot. When you're a soldier and you're over there, you grow a new appreciation for life. I mean, unfortunately, some people don't. Some people just, it damages them. I mean, again, like, unfortunately, with the same thing with the suicide rate of soldiers because of just the horrors and stuff. So luckily, a lot of people at least do come back where they're just like, okay, that sucked. Things are, not as bad as I thought they were here. Let's live a certain way,
Yeah. That is, it's just one thing I will never understand. I was in class with a lot of those guys, and I got to witness the anger, on their face when, 9/11 happened. I mean, we were in class, you know what I mean? We were in ROTC class actually. And, the anger in 16-year-old, faces, it just, and then that anger regenerated after like a few years, and then seeing them come home after that anger, and then their stance now is.
I want to Elsa doll as her daughter.
Okay, give me just a minute. I'm almost done. Okay.
I'm a dad. I understand.
Elsa doll. That's
yeah, Frozen. I'm an animator. I do 3D shit. Like, I'd love to watch those movies, but I can't get past every 5 minutes of singing. Like, Moana's great. Moana's a beautiful movie, and there's only some singing. But like, I tried Frozen when it first came out, and the second one is so awesome looking. It just the animation and just the work that went into that is so awesome. But I can't. I just can't do it.
Listen, my dog's name is Sven. Okay, so yeah, when he got here, he looked like the girl took a picture and she took it down like this. So he looked like a little scraffy dog from Annie, right? Like just a little, yeah. He gets here and he's this massive, like,
the one that showed up earlier.
Yes.
Oh,
and it's like he's the size of a reindeer or silly. So yeah, we named him Sven because he's like
Yeah, I mean, there's not many of those like Pixar or whatever movies that we don't have. Like, the kids have like all the freaking movies. So I mean, they go through periods. Like, sometimes, like when my daughter was first born, like the first 6 months to a year of her life, she watched Moana on repeat all day, every day, because I kept her chill.
Frozen.
So,
hers was Frozen every day, all day. Let it go.
Yeah, that was the next one was Frozen, and then we've gotten them into like Despicable Me and the Minions. Like, she loses her shit when the Minions come in the beginning of those movies.
Yeah,
like, Illumination. She loses her shit. Like, that's the crazy thing. Again, for being nonverbal though, she's so excited and she's so like happy when she watches these movies. Like, she's just like she does this crazy like arm movement stuff, and she's just like so excited. So, I mean, that's the great thing about her though, is like, again, dealing with what she's dealing with. Like, I was talking to my other daughter, and my wife one day. It's like, it just breaks my heart though, because like, she's trying to talk, she's trying to speak, and she can't. And every time I try and like talk to her in a conversation, or I can tell she's trying to tell me something. Like, if she's crying and she's trying to like tell me something, and like, it just breaks my freaking heart when she can't say what she wants. Like,
right.
She's in speech therapy and occupational therapy, and she's getting better, but still just it's slow going. It's a shame, because I mean, our son had apraxia as well, but he's gotten a lot better. He talks all the time, but he still doesn't form words the right way all the time. Sometimes he says something, I'm like, what?
My dad didn't start talking until he was like almost 6, dude. And Carolina too. Carolina was a late bloomer with the talking. Austin was like from get-go.
It seems kind of more common nowadays, man. I don't know. There's some in the water from us freaking, Gen Xers or whatever. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, when I was 5 years old, I lived kind of in the country up in New York. And like, I was out playing in the woods and, talking up a storm. Like, it was just normal thing. So it's weird with my own children because I think like my 2 older children, I think they were pretty quick with it. And then with these 2, it's a whole different animal. But I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping for the best for her, but I don't really care. I mean, I love the kid to death. She cracks me up. And
so what's your like age range? Like, you have the 2 older ones and then you have the 2 younger ones.
Yeah, I have a 21 and 22-year-old, and then I have a 4 and a 6-year-old.
Ooh.
Yeah, my 22-year-old, my daughter, she lives with me now down here.
Right.
And then her brother comes down, like he was just here for Christmas. He's coming back down for Easter. So yeah, pretty much over the last like 5 or 6 years, I've had like a direct, really awesome relationship with my older kids. Because just like I said, the situational, they were up in New York, I was down here.
Right.
You know, just things. I mean, you're a single mom, so I mean, you can completely like. I'm from Lockport, outside of Buffalo, and my wife is from Yonkers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she moved down here like 10 years ago. I've been here since 2001. So yeah, it's just weird. Like I live down here, and then I end up like with somebody who's also from New York. Then again, nobody down here is really from here. So
I'm from here. I was born here.
Well,
No.
I think Charlie is like. Well, I mean, I've met a few people that are from here. Charlie, I think, is from here. Jason's from Ohio. I'm not sure about Hector. I think Hector's from here. But yeah, I'm from New York originally. But like, now I've lived down here longer than I ever lived in New York. So I'm definitely a Floridian. I just hate that there's the whole Florida man like thing that goes on. People are like, oh, it's Florida man again.
Miss Danielle said she's from Dansville and has a cousin from Lockport.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah. I was born in Lockport, and then I grew up in Rochester mostly. I went back and forth throughout my life and whatnot, but yeah. So it's definitely it's been great though. Again, like I said, finally having a relationship with these guys because, like I said, I couldn't be there for most of their childhoods.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely rough on everybody. Like I said, when things got kind of rough in the beginning, with my daughter's transition in the beginning, like I said, she like lost it on me one day, like through chat, and she like blocked me. So I called her mom and I'm like, yo, if I fly up there tomorrow, like, can I see these guys? And she's like, I don't think she thought I'd do it. And so I told Janice, like, we just had our son, Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she worked full time. I was working, I do freelance. I literally just dropped everything, flew up there. And I sat them all down. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of this shit. Let's figure this shit out, you know?
Hector said, I'm from Puerto Rico, but Amanda is from here.
Wait, you're born in Puerto Rico? I didn't know that. How do I not know? Wait, I probably knew. I'm sure we've had this conversation, but
we know now, Hector.
Yeah, well, we'll probably sit down at some point and just have a conversation just so we know all this shit. So if we do interviews, like, we don't sound like dumbasses about our bandmates. Yeah, so it was just one, like I said, it was this at some point I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. Like, we need to figure this out because, you know, you're my kids and I want you to get to know me, who I actually am, you know,
Right.
instead of what you heard all your lives. And yeah, since then it's been great. Like that immediate summer, Gwen came down for the summer, and then after that, like Alex, my son, comes down sometimes twice a year. It's great. It's awesome. Like he was just down here for Christmas, and then he's coming down in April with his new girlfriend because he wants us to meet her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And like I said, my daughter's been here for the last year. Hopefully soon she, you know, gets her stuff together and moves out. But you know, no, it's great having her here. But you know, she's 22. Having another adult in the house is kind of like it's rough. You know what I mean? But and exactly, you know, because I was on my own since I was 17, and like I see her kind of making a lot of the same like steps that I took that kind of took me forever to get my shit together.
Right.
You know, I mean, in the last 10 years have been great because like I met somebody like Janice who already had her shit together, so it was easy for me to kind of like knuckle down and get my career going as a motion designer. But when you're young, it's totally different nowadays too than it was back then. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have any of that shit back then, so we had to figure out everything on our own.
Yeah.
Whereas it also the same thing. When we were that age, did we want to listen to somebody who was like 30, 40 years old? No, we were like, you know what the fuck you're talking about. So, you know, it's a rough thing trying to get your child to understand, like, this is what you really need to be focused on. It's what you need to do. You know? So, you know, it's been an interesting experience.
Eventually they do learn. And, you know,
sometimes it's the hard way, though, which, and you know, I'm getting to that point where, like, I don't want to do the tough love thing because I'd feel horrible doing it. But, I mean, you know, sometimes, I mean, that's kind of what happened with me. I mean, like I said, I had no choice. I moved out when I was 17 because I had to. You know, my mom was with a guy that wasn't my father, who that situation just was not good for like 10 years. So I had no choice, you know, and I've had to figure out a lot of things. And again, I mean, I screwed up a lot, you know, during my 20s and 30s when I was doing the band shit. I was just partying and having a good time, you know. But, you know, sometimes you got to figure it out. So, but it's tough going nowadays for people. It's just not as easy to figure things out because I don't know. It's weird because we had less options, but in a way we had more because, again, we had to figure it out. We had to figure out how to do this, how to do that.
Right.
So, yes, Western New York is beautiful. I just don't miss the snow. I miss the leaves. That's it. I do not miss snow at all. I hate it.
I was in Jamestown, PA, with my ex, and no snow is. I love snow. I just don't, however, like shoveling snow.
Exactly. Like when it starts melting and the plows come through, it gets all nasty and like black and gray, and it's just cool. Like I hate it. Like snowfall is kind of cool, but it's like I just don't miss it. I don't like being cold and you know.
I like the snow. I just like being warm in the snow.
Yeah.
Doesn't really happen all the time.
No.
Slush. No, I don't like shoveling or slush either, Janice. It's not
I
a.
just remember like high school. I was living back out in the middle of nowhere where I was when I was younger, and you know, my friend lived like 3 to 5 miles away, and we'd have to either walk or ride our bikes to meet up. So you know, if it was snowing, we had no choice. We were outside all the time. I mean, I had snowmobiles and crap when I was a kid, and I had ATVs and shit. But like, no, I'm good. I'm totally good with not having snow ever again in my entire life. I'd like the kids to see it someday. So I mean, we'll probably go up to visit New York at some point, or well, she'll take the kids up there.
You hear that? That's your job.
Yeah. It's family vacation. Cool. You guys have fun. I'll be chilling here, not in the snow.
Snow is wet and dirty, and little children eat it for fun.
I mean, we all did. Just don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah, I so did. I have to.
You ate yellow snow?
No, not yellow snow. I ate the snow, not yellow snow, without help. LOL.
Yeah, well, one of the first vacations she took, she went up to like Virginia or whatever to meet up with some old high school friends, and I didn't go. I forget why I didn't go. They went to the mountains or something like that. It was crazy. I didn't go. So it was like this last year for 4th of July, like, the kids are older now. They're getting a lot crazier. So we were going to Williamsburg for 4th of July to meet up with one of her friends, and I went with, and I'm like, it wasn't bad. We were supposed to go like all these like places, historical places, and maybe go hiking, and that didn't happen. Like we got stuck in like this horrible lake. And again, she booked like this lodge, but the pictures made it look like massive and awesome. It was a 2-bedroom. Yeah, this thing's fucking tiny. It was horrible. It was just, and then like her friend's husband just got over COVID. So it was like, I didn't really have another dude to hang out with the whole time. So it was like the wives and like kids. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. So, but no, I think we're supposed to go closer to like DC this year. Maybe. I don't know. As long as it's not cold, I don't care.
I don't like your face when you said that, like the wife and kids.
No. Well, it's like, I mean, women just seem to be definitely more nurturing when it comes to children and whatnot. I mean, I love my kids. I'm just not a very sensitive dude. You know what I mean?
I mean,
yeah, hopefully. Like I try. I mean, like I try and be as jovial and whatnot with the kids as I can. It's just like I'm not a very nurturing person.
I think that is, yeah. I love my children. Okay, very through and through. My whole nurturing is okay. Get up and shake it off.
Yeah, I mean, no, like Janice. I mean, she's from that side of New York. I mean, you piss her off, she'll cut a bitch. But I mean, like, there's a certain extent. I mean, and again, with the kids, how young they are right now, and they're still kind of, like I said, they're developmentally a little behind, even though they're smart as fuck. Right. So it's like it's kind of hard because, like, yeah, exactly. Well, and that kind of, when we were up there, for instance, like he started getting very sensitive to loud noises. So like I sat outside with him when everybody else was inside of a restaurant because he walked in, the noise he went nuts. So like, I sat outside with him because it was her vacation with her friends. I mean, she don't get to see these people like once a year. So like I sat outside with him and ate dinner with him outside. So he wouldn't, he was okay with the fireworks. He has headphones sometimes he has to put on for loud noises. I mean, he's gotten a lot better since then. But yeah, I mean, so like when it comes to like the discipline and stuff, like there really isn't much you can do yet. Like, I mean, like Olivia doesn't get any trouble because she doesn't know anything. With him, it's more about like taking his tablet away. If he does something, but that's all you can really do. There's not really like, I don't believe in physical punishment. I don't I mean, I'll smack him back of the head if he's being stupid sometimes, but like, I was spanked as a child and it really made no sense because after a while you just kind of get tolerant to it. And I started laughing at my mom. So but like, I don't know. I just don't like doing that at all. You know, I don't
I
like.
have to agree with you. I think with and I'm going astrological again, but with me, I have that fine line. You know what I mean? Like I was, well, my mother did not show any justice on me as a child. Like she whooped
Sure,
my
no.
ass. So like I just and with my son, you know, he was kind of like my testing grounds, but that's also like the love of my life right now. Like, I mean, he is
Yeah.
11 and there's no dude on the face of this planet that understands me better than him. Like I couldn't do anything without that dude. Like he's like my heart and soul.
See, I kind of want to like, I guess, and it's I'm trying to think of a way to say it, but like kind of like control through a certain amount of fear, not like terrifying, but like, you know, I fucked up, dad's gonna be pissed. Oh shit, you know what I mean? That kind of fear.
Yeah.
But the way like we discussed how we wanted to try and raise the kids is the one thing my mom did right, is, you know, because again, it was not a great home life for me with the guy she was married to. So I was out all the time, late at night with friends, but I wasn't really getting into trouble. I was a pretty mentally responsible back then. But I go to parties and shit. Right. I'd call her and say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to be at this party," and she knew I didn't get into trouble. So she's like, "But if you need anything, call me."
Right.
If, you know, so you get fucked up and you need to come and call me. But the other thing that she did, what we want to do with these kids is like, if you get busted, if we catch you doing something, don't fucking lie.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Because if I know, by the time I confront you, I already know the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're still gonna get punished, maybe grounded or whatever, because you fucked up. But like if you lie to me, it's gonna be way worse.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of the one thing my mom had with me, where as long as I told the truth, the punishment would be a little less severe. You know what I mean? You still got to, again, you did something wrong, you still got to, get punished for it. But I want to try and build, like, did you ever see Easy A, the movie?
Yes.
Okay, there's one scene with her parents. They're in the kitchen with her parents, and like the kid that they have an adopted kid, and he's like, "So I think I'm adopted." And the way her parents reacted was like, "Oh my god!" They joked with the kids. They seem to have a really great bond with those kids, and that's what I'd like to have with us, with the kids. I mean, I kind of have that with my older kids because again, I'm a big geek. I play video games. I'm in a band, which is kind of cool for my kids. Right. So like I can kind of have that with those guys, because there's not really like a reprimand kind of thing because they're already grown up. But in general, we'd like to just have that really cool, jovial relationship with the kids that they know they can come to us. They can talk to us about anything. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to have with the kids. I don't want to have like this totally offhand, just like, "Oh, you're children, I'm your father." Like, that's what it is. I mean, I even tell my oldest daughter, like, "Listen, I'm your father, not your friend. But we can hang out and have things in common." Really, at some point, even at 22, you fuck up, I'm going to, have to say or do something about it.
That part. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Again, I got kids. I totally understand.
Throwing chips over here.
Luckily, I have my office, so I have like my own room most of the time. But it does get hard, like when I got to try and record tutorials or I got to try and record vocals here. If I'm trying to do like scratch vocals for our album and stuff, it's like, and this is a really good microphone, so it picks up like everything.
See, I have my office, which is like in the living room. So it's like, and then we have a bedroom that way, and then we have a bedroom this way. But so I've been a single mom for a while. Actually, today is our year anniversary for Osment Entertainment, along with my birthday.
Oh, congrats.
Stop. And we started, me and the kids were homeless in a hotel. So we started Osment Entertainment to make marketing videos and stuff like that, because we went through like a really rough time. And we were sleeping in my truck. We were at truck stops, trying to make ends. And there was, people that were getting help with programs and stuff. But because I didn't have COVID, I didn't have, any, other issues besides the fact of not a job, they wouldn't help. I mean, I had the car, I had, some money in my bank account, but, it just was not making anyway. So we started the videos, and we did 4 videos a day. So then that way we could afford the hotel and, the food for the night. And that's how we ended up getting in touch with so many artists, is because we were making, the marketing videos for them and promoting them and supporting them. The marketing videos, we started out with bars for like $20, and like started charging 50 for the extra long ones. So it was just like, we weren't really getting that much, but it was enough to pay for what we needed.
Oh yeah, that's crazy story.
But that's what we did. So now I'm in a room. The reason I tell this story is if I'm in a room, because we were in a hotel in a car for so long, they can't stand to be in the other room without coming and being on top of me in the room that I'm in. Because it's just like a comfort thing for them, I guess, regardless if we're all three doing separate things, it's just
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's a crazy story. I mean, it's awesome that you've gotten through it and that you took a stance where it's like, hey, I got to do something. Nobody's helping me. I got to figure some shit out. And you did something really awesome. And now it's continuing to something like this that you can, give other people like me an opportunity to kind of get on a medium I haven't done yet. Again, because how are people going to know about my band or know about the people in the band if like I'm not on, talking to somebody and whatnot.
Right.
So no, that's fucking awesome.
I never really had the chance to, I don't know. I guess my whole life I really felt like I was not, I was not heard. Like I was the shy girl in the background. Mommies are pieces of furniture. Yes, absolutely.
And the puppy.
Yes, and even yes, unfortunately. But yeah, it's great, dude. I never really felt like I was, being heard. And then when I came out with the idea of wanting to do the interviews and wanting to find out why people loved music so much, it's because when I was a kid, my mom I would sing and I loved to sing, but then my mom would be like, dude, you're being way too loud. Please stop. Like, just stop. Like, you're not like, it's not that good. Like, just stop. And like, so it really ate me up as a kid. And so now I have a passion for singing, but I will not sing in front of people because I'm afraid of being made fun of,
I mean, like I always wanted to play drums. As a kid. I never did because there was no way to do it. But then towards, when I was like 17, 18, I started like thinking I wanted to sing. And, I jammed with friends up in New York and then, it wasn't all that great. I mean, if my buddy Jeremy, who I grew up with up in New York and he's down here now, he always tells a story about the first time I tried doing death metal vocals, like, and it's really bad. Like I was like welling up, like, I would do to build up. And the worst Wookiee sound came out of my mouth, and I held it out too. I was like, just fucking held it out as long as I possibly could. So, I'm a decent, I'm a pretty solid vocalist now. I've been doing this a long time. So like, he would love to tell people that story. I'm like, dude, you're awesome, dude. Your vocals are awesome. He's like, yeah, they weren't always that awesome. But you got to start somewhere. But that was the thing is like, the way I finally got confidence, because you go to karaoke, man, and nobody's perfect at karaoke. I mean, there's some people that are just phenomenal. I don't know why the hell they're in karaoke and they're not on like fucking Who's Got Talent, but nobody's all that great. So like it was, I was also, I made a lot of friends in the scene, so it was like easy to go and do. But then they had open jam,
right?
And again, I would go up there and just kind of freestyle, and that's how I got into it. Like finally, like people started coming up to me like, "Hey, dude, what band are you in?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "Dude, you're sick." And I'm like, "All right, cool, thanks." Just blew it off. And then a friend of mine had some friends that played guitar in another band, and they were looking to start something new. So she hooked me up with them, and that's how I got in my first band. But it's weird because, again, the whole stigma about frontmen is that, they're rock stars, they have egos, they're assholes. And that's why, when people talk to me, people ask when they're curious, like, how do you do that? How do you get started doing that? And it's like, the first thing is like, you have to have a certain ego. But it's an ego of confidence in what you're doing, not about who you are. Because you got to be able to, in order to do that confidently, you got to be, you got to feel secure about it.
Right.
I mean, I'm always second guessing my own voice and stuff. Like I've seen videos again where like, I feel like I shit the bed and the guy's like, when are you going to post the video? And I'm like, I don't want to, I sucked, but you're always going to be your own worst critic. I mean, if it's something you have a passion for, do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure Nocturnium, I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure Nocturnium was actually his first band. And I watched from the beginning of that until like the last few shows. And like she grew a lot and she worked at it. Like you see them posting videos all the time with them practicing all the time. She loved doing it. She had a passion for it and she did it. So I would say, even if you're on your own, like singing in your fucking hairbrush, whatever, or go to karaoke. Go to karaoke, maybe even places you don't know anybody. That way it doesn't really matter. Like, you're not gonna have your friends laughing at you, busting your balls. But if you really want to do it, do it. Fuck what anybody says. Seriously.
I will eventually do it, but at the point in time, I just kind of want to support other people and watch them grow. I mean, my main goal right now is to make my team $1 million before 2 years. Like that is
Not
you
a
know,
bad
and if
goal.
I can make them $2 million, I'll be okay with that. Like I could care less about me, but like as long as what I want is I want to take everybody my dream and what makes me feel happy is I'm a gift giver. You know, I like to give people things in order to see smiles. So that makes me happy in return is giving and doing that that I can.
Oh, nothing's more rewarding than like, at least for, band is like when you're at a show and people are really getting into it, and you people come up, because a lot of times you get the, oh, nice show, good show, and they're just it's a reaction to say, but when you can tell people are really into what you're doing, it's rewarding as hell. Because one feeling I've always had about doing this is like, shows are your reward. Like, you bust your ass writing music and practicing and recording, but when you get to play a show, that's your reward for all the hard work that you do. So when you're doing that and other people can enjoy it with you is like the greatest feeling. But we also do need people like you and other people that go out and just promote the scene. Where it's, I mean, you got to be able to pay your bills and shit, but you're not doing it just for that. You're doing it because you believe in something and that you want to help other people that you believe in. And so. Again, I'm still going to tell you, you want to do that shit, work at it, do it. If you want to do it, do it. Fuck what anybody else thinks. If you really love it and want to do it, do it. But we do appreciate the shit that you do like this for the scene. It's much appreciated.
Dude, it really it excites me to be able to come on here and talk to you guys and figure out, why it's something that you love doing, because, it's something that I've loved to do for such a long time, but I've not had the to come out and do it. So it's really interesting to get different avenues and different vibes and to see how people grow. And, there is, Black Satin is a band. They're more of like a soulful band. They do jazz, and she does more like Whitney Houston stuff too as well. They have their own song out too as well. I have it in the player, but they're very jazzy. And I watched their relationship from where they. The guitarist and his wife, they had just met, went on their first date, and then they got engaged, and I knew all of their story and before I even seen them play, you know what I mean? So that was, and I like that. I like to be involved and help and just, be able to bring people, the most abundance as possible.
I just can't not do it. That's the thing. I mean, I've been doing this a long time off and on. I mean, I had a period like 7 years where I wasn't doing anything. Like, I jam with bands, but it just wasn't the right fit. It just wouldn't work out. But when I'm not in a band, I'm fucking miserable. I really am. Like, I love doing this. As frustrating as it can be sometimes, because I mean, it's not easy being in a local band.
Right.
Because I mean, you've been to shows, you see how it is. Like, sometimes again, you play in front of 5 people. It's like a glorified band practice. And so it's harder just to get, in front of enough people, but I just love doing this. It's part of who I am. It's not just like a hobby kind of thing, and it does get rougher because again, we're older guys in this band. It's not as easy just to, again, do a lot of, we can't, it's just not as easy. Like, even traveling to out of town shows, like it's a flip of a coin sometimes. Like, we got to offer a show down in Pompano Beach, but I mean, if a guy can't find a sitter for his kid because, his wife's working, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? It sucks, but that's what it is. We always said family comes first in this band. And we totally understand, as bummed out as it, as it makes us to do it, but sometimes you just got to turn down a show and it sucks. But I don't know. It's like I said, it's such a part of me that, like, when I'm not doing it, it just sucks,
I understand that completely. I've actually have to hire a babysitter to go with me for my photo shoot. So
yeah.
I completely understand. Like, hey, you want a free chip?
Yeah, except for like the last year, like anytime I've been done this, the wife can't go to shows because of the kids. Now that like my daughter's here, like they can have, because she likes going to the shows too. So it's like she's usually here. So if Janice wants to go to a show, she can have her babysit. Or likewise, if Gwen wants to go, then Janice is home with the kids. So it's been good being able to have her come out because she sees how big of a part of my life this stuff is. I mean, I talk to her about it. She knows everything that's going on, but she doesn't actually get to see the results of it. So it's nice when she can come out, because a lot of times it's all the wives and girlfriends come out, you know, which is, the girls get to do their thing, but they're very supportive of us. Like a lot of times, like they'll work the merch booth for us. I mean, we don't expect them to do it, but we completely appreciate that they do, because we, you know, after a show we have to walk around and mingle and, like, you know, network and talk to people. So sitting behind the merch booth kind of is just like, you know, you feel like you're not getting anything done. So it's a great system we kind of have. Like we got a lot of support from, you know, our families and whatnot, which helps. But again, sometimes, you know, with kids and lives and jobs, it's just you gotta back off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but then that also makes you a commodity too, as well. If you're not, you know, people love to come out and see you.
Yeah. And we hope.
No, you guys do a very good stage performance, and I mean, again, like your vocals are absolutely amazing. The way you can range up and down, absolutely. I mean, all power to you, dude. I mean, and you know, I think Josh would agree. He calls you the vocal king.
Yeah, people way better than me. But it's the way I've always said it, where you look at guys like Corey Taylor and like Randy from Lamb of God, is like they can go up there and do what they do because they got guys behind them. They're just badass. They don't worry about them. Like I've got a great support behind me with these guys. Like these guys, you know, give it their all. They fucking bust their ass to write the cool ass shit that I sing over. Right. So it's nice where I don't have to pay any attention because I'm so focused on what I'm doing and entertaining the people in front of me, because that's my job as a frontman. I don't worry about them behind me. Right. I don't, because I know they're doing it. I know the songs, you know, we practice them so much. I don't think about them. I don't. That's why, like I said, when Jason does the rolls half the time, I have no idea what the hell's going on. I just hear a thunk behind me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And that's what makes it easier. If you have a really good like band that you're in, you know, the musicians are just, you know, that good at what they do, and the music, you really like the music you're playing, then it's easy for me to do my job.
Right.
You know.
Well, dude, I am so happy that you were able to come on with me today. We are going to run some live music after this. So if you guys want to stay tuned, but I do want to go ahead and start kind of just wrapping things up. Miss Holly from around Winter Haven Neighbors, she is the sponsor for the morning chat. So thank you, Miss Holly, for giving us this avenue to be able to come on and rock out with Mr. Milstead. We love you, dude. And I really let's see, we got a comment over here. Let me just kind of see. Oh, hi, Jessie Sawyer. How are you, my love? So we will play some live music. So if you guys want to stay tuned, we are going to put up a couple songs that were sent in to the email. And if you don't have my email, it's osment.entertainment@gmail.com. You can send your MP3s in there, and we will try to get them on the schedule for morning. We have morning and night right now, Wednesday night, and then every morning, Monday through Friday, we have an artist. So, and tomorrow is Saturday, so I am going to rock out the rest of my birthday.
I think
kids.
Is that tonight or is that tomorrow? I know that like Filth is playing. I think Filth and Nocturne are playing. Is that tonight at the Mug?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
no,
tomorrow night at the Mug.
It's at the Shovelhead.
Yeah, but I think so tomorrow. I know so then Saturday they're playing at the Mug then.
Yes, Nocturnium and
Filth, and isn't Josh playing with that show?
Josh is playing tonight at the not the Conduit. Tonight with Endorphin. Hold on, I got it like right here somewhere. Oh sugar shit. Yeah, of course I've lost it too. I know I just typed it up.
Page. Friday 13th. They are out at Shovelhead tonight.
And it's Burn Forever, Endorphin, M99, Love to Hate. Yeah, we've got an interview with Love to Hate right before they go out. So we'll be doing a quick chat with them at 1:00 this afternoon. So if you guys are still here, we'll be here.
Yeah, the show I was thinking about is tomorrow night. It's Nocturnium, Cypher Machine, Red Calling, Filth, and Love the Hate. That's tomorrow night at the Mug. so I'll probably be out there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going out that way.
Well, you got quite a bit of a drive.
Yeah, I normally if I do anything like that, I just go with Josh, but I haven't been doing that. So
Well, thank you very much for having me on. It's
Absolutely.
nice. I mean, I don't know if it was supposed to last almost 3 hours, but
No, we kind of just fly by the seat of our pants and kind of just roll with it. I try to give you guys as much time as possible. Miss Holly might eat my ass for the 3 hours, but it's fine.
well, okay. So I guess last minute plug. Get out of Nashville. We're everywhere. We're online. We have a new EP coming out. We have a show coming up at the Brass Mug on the 28th. Check us out. Give us a shout. Reach out to us. Ask any questions you want. We're always available.
Yeah, I'm going to play Dehumanize once we get off. So this will also be for them. And then they have, let me see what the other one is, see if it loaded. I think
Lives and,
Rapid Decay
yes.
and No Lives Matter. Which one you want to do? You want to do Rapid Decay?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we'll play that one too as well. But we're going to start it off with Dehumanize. Thank you so much for coming on. And dude, you're amazing. And anytime that you need anything, let me know. We'll put it up. We'll market it and try to get it out there as much as possible.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks again for having me on, and thanks for everything you do for the scene. It's really appreciated.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I like to see y'all smile and wave my dreads around.
Like I said, it's a lot easier if you have hair.
Yeah, but I've got ruins and beads, and I could beat some serious people up with this hair. So don't stand next to me. It gets lethal.
It's a good thing I'm on stage.
At that part.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. We're going to keep freaking just bullshitting for the next few hours.
That's okay. It's all right. I don't mind. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was an honor. And everybody go check out Get Out of Nashville. Give them a like, a share. Go listen to some of their music. They're on Spotify. Which other? Apple.
That's the main one, Spotify and Apple. Yeah.
I know that they have some stuff on YouTube too as well. So if you have a YouTube channel, go check them out. Miss Danielle, thank you very much. Oh, and thank you for the happy birthdays. Dude, that's awesome. Miss Mickey, I love your face. Happy birthday month. And we will we'll chat soon.
Awesome. Have a good one.
All right, sweetheart, you too.
Bye. This is the sheep walking down as my mouth.
of this shit, I go live in the world. But I am down to the last message. You jump off a bridge, complaining all the time. All of fucking lies. You took advantage of my damage. I couldn't stand it. Taking your shit out on me. You're the worst. All kinds of things. So done with your insecurity. Always fucking with my head. Twisting everything I said. You entitled piece of shit. This is where it is. Forgiveness from a God that doesn't exist.